Simenon's Maigret, a series of plays based on the novels of Georges Simenon. With Maurice Denham as Jules Maigret and Michael Gough as Georges Simenon.
Your beers, monsieur.
Thank you. Your health, Jules. It was a good party, I take it.
Oh, yes, sure. Well, it was Lapointe's first baby. We had to push the boat out a bit. Your health, George.
How long has he been married?
Oh, well, 2 years. One time we thought he'd stay a bachelor the rest of his life.
Unlike you. I've never thought of you as anything but a married man.
Oh, I was single once. Before I knew you, of course.
Yes, can I interest you in a little club for later this evening? Entertainment, drinks, girls, striptease, all the way down to the... Oh, beg your pardon, I didn't realise it was you, Chief Inspector. Excuse me. Oh, good evening. No offence.
Who was that?
The grasshopper. At least that's what they call him around Montmartre. Touts for a club by the name of... wait a minute.
Le Street Hot.
No, that's not it.
Well, that's what it says on this card.
Well, then he must have changed jobs, or maybe the other place has closed down. Picrats, that was it. I think. Now, Lapointe would remember, even if you and I can't.
Why Lapointe?
Oh, really, Georges, your memory. Because his first real job with headquarters centered around Picrats, or whatever it was called. No, it was the first time young Lapointe actually worked on a case. Didn't just sit around in the office learning the ropes. And because... Do you really not remember, Georges?
You tell me, Jules.
Because it was the time young Lapointe grew up. All in the course of a week. Fell in love for the first time, and killed someone for the first time.
Ah, yes. In Montmartre.
Maigret in Montmartre.
That's right. On a Monday night, or to be strictly accurate, Tuesday morning, according to the report from the La Rochefoucauld police station.
Inspector Lognon's district, wasn't it?
You are remembering.
Is he still there?
Yes, he'll die there.
No ambition, that was it.
And no imagination. Plods doggedly on, never questions those placed in authority over him.
A model policeman.
Well, you might have thought so. If only he'd told me to keep my nose out of his cases, he'd have been a chief inspector years ago.
But would you have taken any notice?
Well, that's beside the point. Anyway, there was this young woman, fairly obviously drunk, who comes in to make a statement. Goes up to the sergeant at the desk.
I want to make a statement.
Go ahead.
It's about a crime.
Well, there's been a crime committed.
I don't know whether it's been committed.
Well, then
but it probably will be committed. In fact, it's certain to be.
I see. Now, who told you?
These two men.
Two men?
Clients at the club. I work at Picrats.
Ah, yes. You do the nude act, don't you?
Yes.
So, some clients have been talking to you about a crime.
Not to me.
Who to, then?
They were discussing it together.
And you were listening?
Yes, they were at the next table on the other side of the partition.
When was this?
About 2 hours ago.
And what exactly did you hear?
Well, they didn't say much, and I couldn't hear it all. Music was going on, but one of them said he was going to kill the countess. I did hear that.
Which countess?
Don't know.
Well, what did he say about killing her?
Don't remember. I wasn't alone.
Ah, you were with...
Client.
Someone you knew?
Yes.
Who?
His first name's Albert. I don't know his other name.
Go on.
Well, the first thing I heard was something like, she's still got most of the jewellery, but at the rate she's going, it won't last long.
What was the voice like?
Man's voice. Middle-aged. When they went out, I saw one of them with short and grey-haired. Must have been him.
Why?
Because the other one was younger and wasn't a young man's voice.
What names did they use?
I think one of them was called Oscar.
Go and sit down.
Can't I go home?
Not yet. I'll make a report. What's your name?
Arlette.
Arlette. Yes, of course.
Yeah. And as Lognon wasn't around and the statement seemed to involve a threat of murder, the sergeant had her brought over to us at the Quai des Orfèvres. It was about 3 o'clock in the morning when she arrived. By then, she decided she didn't want to tell us anything after all, so I sent her back to her flat. I went home myself for a few hours' sleep, returned to the office, and was just about to phone Lognon to put him in the picture when... Yes?
Maigret?
Yeah.
Lognon here. I understand the girl who said she'd overheard some talk about murdering a countess was brought round to you by one of my sergeants last night.
Yeah, she left here about 4 o'clock this morning. Why?
She's dead. Just been found by her concierge. I've not been round there yet. Thought I'd better ring you first, as headquarters seem to have shown such an interest. Perhaps we should all have taken her more seriously. Looks as though she may have been talking sense.
Looks like it.
Well, I assume I'll see you at the flat then. I take it you have the address.
Maigret, I haven't disturbed anything. The doctor's still in the bedroom.
Oh, thank you, Lionel. It's a nicely kept place, isn't it? Morning, Doctor.
Morning, Chief Inspector. Well, she was dead when we got here, of course. Fellow did it, held on to her till he made sure of that.
Can you say when it happened?
Not more than an hour and a half ago. There's no trace of a struggle. He was probably hiding in here waiting for her. Grabbed her by the throat the moment she'd taken her coat off.
You know this district, Lognon. Did you ever see her perform?
No, I've heard about her act. And we found these photographs in a drawer. As you can see, it was a sort of striptease. She appears to have wriggled about, gradually taking off her dress. The only thing she had on. By the end, she was stark naked.
Where was it she worked?
Oh, one of these little Montmartre clubs, Facades, off the Rue Pigalle.
I see. Well, if anybody wants me, that's where I'll be.
My husband will be down in a minute, Mr. Maigret.
Ah, thank you. Did you tell him what I wanted to see him about?
I asked him about the two men. He doesn't remember them. In fact, he's sure there wasn't anybody at the table next to Arlette's. There was an American over there who drank the best part of a bottle of whiskey, and there was a party of about 6 or so. They brought some girls in with them, but neither of us remember two men together. Oh, here he is. Fred, this is Chief Inspector Maigret.
Oh, know your face. From the papers. Fred Alfonsi. Oh, dear. Didn't the wife ask you to have a drink?
Oh, she did, thank you, but not at the moment. Now, you're sure there were no clients at the table next to Arlette's last night?
Table 8? No, positive. It's a small place. I keep an eye on everything the whole time.
And you never saw, at that table, two men by themselves, one of them older than the other?
Look, I've said no. Chief Inspector, what's all this about?
Arlette is dead.
What?
Oh, no.
She was strangled this morning in her bedroom.
Good God. Who did it?
Well, that's what I'm trying to find out. She overheard a conversation here last night between two men who were talking about a countess. One of the men seems to have been called Oscar.
Well, if there'd been two men here, I'd have noticed. You know how this kind of place works. People don't come here to see first-class turns or dance to a good band. We mostly get foreigners. Imagine they're going to see something sensational. The only sensational thing was Arlette undressing.
Did she go to bed with the clients?
Well, she must have now and then.
With the young man who was here last night?
Oh, no. No, not with him, I'm sure. He just come in one evening with a friend and fell for her. Straight away, you could see it.
Oh, yeah.
He come again. Several times, but he never waited till we closed. Probably had to get up early, go to work.
Well, did she have any other regulars?
Oh, none of our clients are regulars. They're all alike, of course, but they're always different.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
Hey, I suppose I can open as usual this evening?
No.
Oh, good. Well, if you care to drop in, you're welcome.
Yes, I'll do that. If you want to contact me in the meantime, I'll be at the Quai des Orfèvres. Come in. Yes, Lapointe, what is it?
Can I speak to you, sir?
Yes, of course. Well, come in, sit down.
Thank you, sir.
Well?
When I saw her here last night, I wondered why she'd been brought in. Janvier told me what she'd been saying, and then the next I know, she's dead.
I'd forgotten for the moment that your first name was Albert.
After what Alette told Lucas, he shouldn't have let her go off by herself without any protection at all.
No, I know you've not been here very long, Lapointe, but you must have realized by now that if we had to give police protection to everyone who comes in with an accusation, we'd none of us have time for anything else.
Yes, Chief, but...
But what?
She was different.
How did you get to know her?
I was with a friend. We went up to Montmartre together. We walked into Picrat's.
Why?
Well, no particular reason. It was the first place we saw.
How long ago was this?
3 weeks. That's all, 3 weeks.
And that was how you met her?
She came and sat at our table. My friend thought she was a whore. We had a row when we got outside.
About her?
Yes.
And you went back there?
Yeah, the following night. To apologize for the way my friend had spoken to her.
What had he actually said?
He offered her money to sleep with him.
And she refused?
Of course.
Did she say anything to you about being in danger?
Well, not in so many words. But I knew there were some mysteries in her life.
Such as?
Oh, it's difficult to explain. No one will believe me because I was in love with her.
Was she in love with you?
Last night I felt sure she was.
Why? What did you talk about?
Same as usual. About her and me.
Did you ever go to bed with her?
No.
Did you ever ask her?
No.
And she never suggested it?
Never.
What happened last night?
Did she say anything about it?
No, she said you were with her, but she only mentioned your Christian name.
I stayed at the club till 2:30.
At what table?
Number 6.
Was there anybody at the next table to yours?
No.
Table 8?
No, nobody.
While you were talking to Arlette, she didn't seem as though she were listening to any other conversation.
No, I'm sure she wasn't. Why?
Would you like to work on the case with me, Lapointe?
Yes, Chief, I would.
Look, I'm not asking you because you were in love with her.
No, sir.
Oh, Maigret. Yeah? Well, the name? And address? Thank you. A Countess von Farnheim has been found strangled in a flat in the Rue Victor Massé. Come on, Lapointe. Let's get there.
How anyone could live in a place like this, heaven alone knows. You'd think at least she'd get someone to take the bottles away.
Where is she?
In the bedroom.
Through here. Fine. Come on, Lapointe.
Yes, sir.
Nothing's been touched, of course. I had a feeling headquarters might want to take over.
Yes, well... Good Lord.
Exactly. We found 2 hypodermics on that wine crate by the bed. She's about 60 or so. Doctor's not arrived as yet. Mattress cover's been slit open, so either the motive was robbery or someone wants us to think it was. Oh, mind out for that chamber pot. It's half full.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, not at all. This is the concierge, Madame Aubin. Madame Aubin, Chief Inspector Maigret, and...
Inspector Lapointe.
Madame. Well, I'll leave you all to it, then. Don't suppose you'll need the local police hanging around?
Thank you, Laura.
Oh, not at all, not at all.
Have a look around, Lapointe.
Right, sir.
Well, now, madame, did the countess live alone?
She did.
Did she have many visitors?
Well, there was this young man.
Young man?
Nice-mannered, sickly-looking boy with long hair. He used to visit her. Called her aunt.
You don't know his name?
Never concerned myself with her affairs.
Well, this desk, sir, is full of papers.
Huh?
She must have got every letter she ever got. There are hundreds of them. All from her husband, by the look of them. Love letters.
Oh, why not? She can't always have been like this. You better go through them. Do you want to do that here or take them back to headquarters?
Well, I think I prefer to take them back, sir.
I don't blame you. Thank you, madame.
Au revoir, monsieur.
Come on, let's get a breath of fresh air.
I told you. Do you want a beer, Lapointe? Someone's going down to the Brasserie Dauphine.
Thank you, yes.
Sandwich?
No, thanks. I'll finish going through these first.
2 beers and 1 ham sandwich.
Right.
Found anything?
Well, according to these papers, she was living with her husband in Cannes up till 15 years ago in a house called the Oasis. Oh, there's a photo of it. Very pretty. And there's a photo of the husband, the Count von Farnheim.
Not so pretty. How old was he?
65 when they married. She was about 35. Marriage only lasted 3 years, then he died.
What of? Exhaustion?
I got under the police down there, and apparently there was an inquest. Well, you can see in that photo the house is on the corniche, and beyond the terrace there's a drop of about 300 feet or so. Well, the Count's body was found one morning lying at the foot of the precipice. The theory was that he'd gone outside for air and sat down on the balustrade, then just passed out and fallen.
Oh, yes.
There were no signs of violence on the body when it was found, and no trace of poison was discovered at the autopsy.
And what happened to her after that?
Well, she lived on at the Oasis, entertained a great deal, gambled, drank. The local police say she had a string of gigolos, one after the other. And they got away with a good deal of her money. Then, 4 years after the Count died, she suddenly sold up and disappeared. Never been seen on the Riviera again.
Is the chief inspector in?
He's in his office, sir.
Right. You, in here.
Yes, all right.
Keep an eye on this young man, will you?
Yes, of course. Who is he?
I have reason to believe he may be a material witness in the case of the Countess von Farnheim.
Where did you pick him up?
At the Gare du Nord.
When?
This morning, 6:30. When you were both still in bed, I shouldn't wonder. Yeah, well, I'd better go in. Come in. I'm sorry to disturb you, Chief Inspector.
No, not at all, Longyon. What can I do for you?
The young man you said you wished to interview, friend of the late Countess.
Yeah?
He's outside.
Oh, that was quick.
Easy when you know the district, as we local police do. And this is the 8th time I've arrested him. Name of Mortimer. Philippe Mortimer. He's a drug addict.
Where does he live?
Block of flats on the Boulevard Rochechouart. He wasn't there, though. He'd packed his bag, so I followed him. I know his haunts. He needed money to get away, and he was looking for someone to borrow from.
How did you find him?
The concierge saw him take the first bus for the Gare du Nord. I found him in the waiting room and questioned him on the way over here.
And?
He either knows nothing or won't say anything.
Was he the one who supplied the Countess with drugs?
Unless it was she who kept him supplied. Anyway, they've been seen around together for several months. If you don't need me anymore...
No, thank you, Longyon. You've done a good job.
Then I'm not suggesting he killed the old woman.
Well, neither am I.
You're going to hold him?
Perhaps. Tell him to come in, will you?
Right. He's all yours, then. You, Mortimer, come in here.
What do you want with me?
A few questions. Thank you, Longyon. Now then, was the Countess von Farnheim your mistress?
She was my protectress.
In other words, you didn't go to bed with her?
She was interested in my writing.
And gave you money?
She helped me to get along.
And drugs?
Sometimes.
Why?
She was lonely.
Hadn't she any friends?
She was always alone. Can I sit down?
No. Did you make love to her?
I tried to give her pleasure.
In her flat?
Yes.
How old are you?
28.
When did you begin taking drugs?
3 or 4 years ago.
Why?
I don't know.
Tell me about the countess.
I don't know anything.
But tell me what you do know.
She used to be very rich. She was married to a man she didn't love, an old fellow who never gave her a moment's peace, and had her trailed by a private detective.
Is that what she told you?
Yes. He used to get a report every day, describing all she had said and done, almost minute by minute.
Was she already taking drugs by then?
I don't think so. He died, and everybody tried to grab the money he had left her.
Who was everybody?
All the gigolos on the Riviera. Professional gamblers. Her women friends.
Did she ever mention any names?
Well, I don't remember any.
Did you ever hear the name Oscar mentioned?
I don't know anybody of that name.
She never seemed to be afraid of anyone?
She was only afraid of dying all alone.
When did you last see her?
Well, the day before yesterday, in the morning.
Are you sure it wasn't yesterday morning?
Yesterday morning I was ill and stayed in bed.
What was the matter with you?
I'd been out of dope for 2 days.
Wouldn't she give you any?
She swore she hadn't any.
And you haven't been back there since?
No.
Now, listen, the Countess's body was found yesterday afternoon about 5 o'clock. The evening papers were out already, so the news didn't appear till this morning. But you spent the night looking for money so you could get away from Paris. How did you know the Countess was dead?
Well, I went along her street and saw a crowd on the pavement.
What time was that?
About 6:30.
Yeah, you thought you'd be suspected, did you, when you heard she'd been strangled?
It's always like that.
So you decided to go away. Who gave you the money?
A friend. A man.
Who?
I don't know his name.
Look, you'd better tell me.
I don't know.
All right. Have it your own way. Luca!
Yes, sir.
Look, take this fellow out to the confessional and keep him there until he decides to come clean. I don't care whether it takes 24 hours or 3 days. When you're tired, hand over to someone else.
Right. This way.
But I've told you all I know. This isn't fair. I can't tell you what I don't know.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, Lapointe.
There's an old girl in black sitting out there.
Yes, what about her?
She's Arlette's aunt. Saw a report of her murder in the papers and came straight here from Lisieux this morning. She's identified Arlette. Wants to have a word with you.
Oh, I see. Well, let's hope it doesn't take too long. I want my lunch. You'd better show her in.
Right, sir. Will you come this way, please, madame?
Thank you. Chief Inspector Maigret?
Yes, madame. Please take a seat.
Thank you.
I believe you've identified the body.
Indeed I have. I'm afraid there is no doubt it is the remains of my poor unfortunate brother's child. He died, you know, when she was 2 years old.
No, I didn't know. Now, your sister-in-law lives in Lisieux?
Never left the place.
Do you think she will have seen the newspaper with her daughter's photograph in it?
Undoubtedly. The photograph was on the front page.
Well, don't you find it strange that she's not got in touch with it?
Not in the least. She would certainly not do so. She's too proud. In fact, I'm convinced that if she were confronted with the body, she would swear it was not her daughter. I know she has heard nothing from the girl for the last 4 years.
Yes.
I would say nobody could live under the same roof as my sister-in-law. But there was another reason. A woman in whom I have every confidence, and who goes once a week to Caen, where she is part owner of a shop, swore to me on her husband's life that not long before my niece left home, she met her at Caen, just going into a doctor's house.
Yes.
And not just an ordinary doctor, Chief Inspector, a gynecologist.
In other words, you suspect your niece of having left the town because she was pregnant?
Frankly, yes. Earlier that year, I remember, my sister-in-law decided to take her to La Bouboule for a holiday.
Yeah?
She left Lisieux for good 3 or 4 months later. And she couldn't have been more than 3 or 4 months pregnant then, because it didn't show. Well, that exactly fits in with her visit to La Bouboule. And I'm perfectly certain it was there that she met the man by whom she became pregnant, and she most likely went off to join him. If it had been a Lisieux man, he would have either arranged for an abortion or gone away with her.
Yes, I see. Well, thank you for coming to see us, madame. You're going back to Lisieux, I suppose?
Oh, no, not today. I have friends in Paris, and I shall probably spend a few days with them. Now, don't hesitate to ring, Inspector, if you need me.
No, thank you.
I shall always be ready to help.
Yes, I'm sure you will. Good day.
Good day, Chief Inspector.
Oh.
Inspector?
Now, look, you're not going to let me get any lunch, are you, Lapointe? I was looking forward to a nice cold beer.
I've just been on the phone to Nice.
Have they found the report on von Farnheim's death?
Yes. Nothing obviously suspicious, but they've given me the names of the servants who were employed at the house, which you may find interesting. Now, there were 5 of them. Antoinette Maigret, aged 19, housemaid. Rosalie Moncoeur, 42, cook. Maria Pinaco, 23, kitchen maid. Angelino Lupin, 38, butler. And Oscar Bonvoisin, 35, valet chauffeur.
Oscar, at last. I suppose nobody knows what's become of all these people.
Oh, the police at Nice have found an employment bureau which specializes in staffing big houses. It's kept by an old lady who's been there for over 20 years. She doesn't remember Count von Farnheim or the Countess or Oscar Bonvoisin, but not more than a year ago, she found a job for Rosalie Moncoeur, the cook. It's with some South Americans in Paris. Now, I had their address. Yeah. 132 Avenue d'Iéna.
Anything known about the others?
Well, they're following that up. Shall I go and see her, sir?
No, sorry, Lapointe. I think it's better if I go.
Yes, sir.
Get myself that beer on the way.
I'm sorry to have to ask you into the kitchen, but we have a lunch party in half an hour to prepare for.
No, not at all. It's very kind of you to see me, Madame Moncoeur. I'll try not to take up too much of your time. Now, I believe you once worked for the Count and Countess von Farnheim in the south of France.
You don't mean to tell me you're digging up that old story?
Not exactly. Did you know the Countess was dead?
It happens to everyone. No, I didn't know.
She was murdered.
Who killed her?
Well, we don't know yet. That's what I'm trying to find out. Do you remember an Oscar Bonvoisin who worked with you for the von Farnheims?
Him? Oh, yes.
You didn't like him?
He was a valet. I don't like valets. They're all bone idle, especially when their chauffeurs as well believe they're cock of the walk. You think he may have killed the Countess?
Oh, that's possible. Can you give me a description of him?
As he was in those days, yes. But I don't know what he looks like now. At least...
Yes?
A few weeks ago, I went to see my brother in Montmartre. He has a cafe in the Rue Colincourt. On my way there, I passed a man in the street I thought I knew. He looked at me, too, as if he was trying to place me, and then suddenly he began to walk very fast, turning his head away.
And you thought it was Oscar?
I'd almost swear it was.
Tell me, what kind of a man was he?
I don't like giving people away.
You'd rather let a murderer go free?
If he's only killed the Countess, he's done no great harm.
Look, if he has killed her, he's killed at least one other woman, and there's no reason to suppose that he'll stop there.
He wasn't tall, rather on the small side. He used to wear high heels to make himself look taller. I used to tease him about it. He was very dark, very thick hair, black eyebrows. Some women thought him irresistible. Not me. Anyhow, he had all the women he wanted, and not only the servants.
No, you think he had an affair with the Countess?
Before the Count had been dead 2 days.
How do you know?
Because I saw him come out of her room at 6 in the morning. That was partly why I left. And when the servants begin to share the best bedroom, that's it.
Did it ever occur to you that the Count might have been murdered?
It was none of my business.
But it did occur to you?
It occurred to the police, too, didn't it? Else why did they ask all those questions?
Could it have been Oscar?
I don't say that. She was probably just as capable of doing it herself. How was she killed?
Strangled.
And who was the other woman?
A girl, 20 years old, came from Lisieux. Nothing to suggest she ever lived on the Riviera. All we know is that she once visited La Bourboule.
In the Auvergne?
Yes.
Oscar came from the Auvergne.
Did he, indeed?
I don't know exactly what part, but he had a bit of an accent.
Had he changed much when you saw him a few weeks ago?
He was fatter, and his hair was beginning to go grey at the temple, but I'm sure it was him.
Anything else?
He was very smartly dressed, I remember that. Look at the time. You'll have to excuse me, but I need the kitchen to myself.
Of course, Madame Moncoeur, I understand. And thank you.
Lapointe. Yes, sir.
Is Lucas still in the confessional with Philippe?
Yes.
I'll get him in here.
Yes, sir.
Janvier.
Yes, sir.
Get on to the press. Tell them we've questioned Philippe Montmartre for several hours and no result. And
that chap's like a wet rag, but I've got nothing out of him so far. Sorry, Chief.
we're letting him go.
What?
If Oscar Bonvoisin did kill those two women, we'll get him eventually, but it'll take time. And before we catch him, he may bump off someone else for knowing too much.
And you think we could use Philippe?
As bait. Because if he does know something, which I'm convinced he does, Oscar must be feeling very uneasy. A drug addict can't be trusted. Philippe said nothing yet, but that doesn't mean he'll keep quiet forever, and Oscar knows it.
And if the press publishes the fact that we've released him, Oscar may try to get rid of him.
Exactly. But I realize there's the risk we may be landed with another corpse, but I intend that we keep a very close eye on the boy. He must be needing dope badly by now, and Oscar may be his only means of getting it. We'll let him go at dusk. It'll be easier to tail him then. Luca, Lapointe, I'll leave that to you.
Right.
Oh, and get Longyon and some of his men on it, too.
Yes.
He's always saying how well he knows Montmartre. Now's his chance to prove it. I'm off to Picrat's. This whole business started there, and I have the feeling it may well end there. If anything turns up, phone me.
Evening, Chief Inspector.
Evening.
Thought you might come in. What now, Randy?
Oh, thank you. Is your wife not here?
Yeah, she's upstairs. Giving a lesson to the girl who's replacing Arlette.
Doesn't it interest you?
She's quite pretty. Yeah, good health.
Oh, thank you.
A better figure than Arlette, but it's not the same thing.
At least she's alive.
Yeah. You were asking before about a fellow named Oscar.
Yes.
Well, I don't know how to explain it properly, and I don't know if there is such a person, but what I do know is that there was somebody who had hold over her. What sort of hold and why, I don't know. But if there was somebody, do you suppose she suddenly got sick of him and decided to give him away?
Well, when she went to the police station, she knew a crime was to be committed and that it involved a countess.
Yeah, but why did she pretend she'd found it out here, listening to a conversation between these two men?
To begin with, she was drunk. Perhaps she drank to screw up her courage. Perhaps young Albert had more effect on her than he realized.
Oh, by the way, I've discovered he's one of your fellas.
Yes, I didn't realize it was Lapointe who was with her until he told me. He wasn't on duty. No, he was genuinely in love with her, you know.
Yeah, but I did tell you.
He wanted her to change her way of life. Wanted to marry her. Poor Lapointe.
Excuse me.
No, that may be for me.
Big rats. Yeah, he is. You were right. It's for you.
Oh, thanks.
Yes?
Luca here, Chief. I'm in the Rue Le Pic. When Philippe Mortimer left headquarters, he came straight here to the cafe on the corner. He's been round all the tables asking for someone called Bernard.
Who's Bernard?
Drug pusher. No luck, though. He left a few minutes ago. Lapointe's tailing him.
Fine. Thanks, Luca.
Hey, it's all right if Rose and a girl run over the act down here, Chief Inspector.
Huh? Oh, yes, of course.
Good. You might even enjoy it.
Right. Remember what I told you? You come in through there. No, wait a minute, dear. There's a fanfare first. I'll put the record on. Now.
Oh, dear. Rose knows how to teach the girls what to do. But this one, never be a patch on Arlette.
Now the shoulder strap. No, slowly. You'll never last the music out if you do it as fast as that. That's it. Now go right around the floor.
Shall I?
Yeah, that'll be for you.
Maigret.
Lapointe here, sir. He's got as far as the cafe in the Place Constantin Pequeur.
What's he doing?
Still seems to be looking for someone.
Nobody following him?
Nobody, except us.
Just take it
That's Inspector Longyon myself.
Where's Longyon?
Over the road, outside the cafe.
Well, ask him to have a word with the cafe proprietor. Not in front of the customers, if he can help it. Tell him to ask if he knows Oscar Bonvoisin. And tell him to ring me as soon as he's done it.
Right, sir.
Please don't trail the dress on the floor. You'll ruin it. Yes.
Oh, dear.
Very nice. satisfied with that. I've done the best I can with her. Well, how's it going, Monsieur Maigret?
Slowly. Maigret.
Longyon here. The cafe proprietor knew Oscar and where he lives.
Oh, where?
A house called Chez Manière, Rue Coulancourt.
What's Philippe up to?
Getting very drunk at the moment.
Right. Get one of your men to keep an eye on him, collect Lapointe, and I'll meet you both outside Chez Manière in 5 minutes.
Right, Chief Inspector.
In the bag?
Perhaps.
Well, you'll come back here when it's over, won't you? We'll have a bottle of champagne. Celebrate.
Longyon?
Over here.
Any light showing?
Nothing.
Where's Lapointe?
Checking if there's a way out of the back. But I doubt there will be.
Right. As soon as he gets back, we're going in there.
There's no one upstairs, Chief.
Ah.
Shall we warn the railway station?
Well, judging by the fire in the stove, I'd say Oscar left here 3 or 4 hours ago. He meant to make a run for it. He'll be away by now. He had plenty of trains to choose from.
He could be waiting for Philippe somewhere.
That's more than possible. Have you got Philippe's address?
Yes, Boulevard Rochechouart.
Right, Longyon, you keep an eye on this place from the other side of the road. Keep out of sight.
You think Oscar will come back?
I don't think anything. All I know is that the countess was killed in her own flat, and so was Arlette. If Oscar was responsible for those 2 murders, and he wants to silence Philippe, he could well be waiting at the Boulevard Rochechouart. Right, Lapointe, you come with me.
Chief.
Well, Lapointe, what did the concierge say?
Philippe's room is on the 1st floor. Door on the left. She didn't think he'd come in yet.
Hardly surprising if he's getting drunk in a cafe in the Place Constantin Pecker. Any other inquiries for him?
Not as far as she knew, but she hadn't been in for very long.
So, she wouldn't know if anyone else had gone up to his room. Got your gun, Lapointe?
Well, yes, sir, but I...
Right, come on. Let's go up.
But quietly, right. There's someone moving about in there.
Yes. You... Ah, Monsieur Bonvoisin. I am Chief Inspector Maigret. Take him, Lapointe!
I've killed him.
Let's have a look.
I've killed him.
Your first, is he? Don't forget, he killed Arlette.
It is him.
Oscar Bonvoisin? Yes, that's him. Description fits perfectly.
I'm sorry, sir. I think I'm going to be sick.
No, you're not, young Lapointe. What you're going to do is to go and ring up headquarters, and after that, if you can find a bistro that's still open, you're going to have a large drink.
Oh, but I...
And that's an order. And that, Georges, was when young Lapointe, as I've always called him, grew up.
Yes, I remember it all now. Oh, but did you ever get your free bottle of champagne at Picrat's?
Oh, yes. That night, I took Lapointe back there after all the details had been cleared up.
What was the new girl's act like?
Terrible. Fred left all the lights on at the end. She had to scuffle off as best she could, not a stitch on.
Did he do it on purpose?
Yeah, probably. It got a laugh from some of the clientele. Then I looked at Lapointe, and he was crying.
He'd buried his first love and killed his first man. Who's to blame him?
He got very drunk.
With a little help from you, Jules.
Perhaps. So I took him to his rooms, put him to bed.
You're a very thoughtful man.
Well, not really. I completely forgot to send someone to tell Longyon he could go home. He was still there under the trees opposite Oscar's house when I drove to work the next morning. He caught a terrible cold.
Poor Longyon.
Poor Lapointe.
Simenon's Maigret, a series of plays based on the novels of Georges Simenon. With Maurice Denham as Jules Maigret and Michael Gough as Georges Simenon.
What will you have to eat?
Oh.
Why so gloomy?
Well, I'm supposed to be on a diet, George, and I'm very hungry.
Order as you please. You are my guest. The lamb here is very good.
Oh, God, no. No, I better have a plain tornado and salade de tomate. No dressing.
No pommes frites?
No. Are you trying to get me divorced?
Being a friend, I'll have the same. It's not only your diet that is making you so gloomy, is it, George? You've been quiet ever since we left the toy shop.
No, take no notice. I was only...
ruminating?
Well, I suppose so.
Why should buying a Christmas present for a child, and thank you for your advice, I think the train set an admirable idea, but why should a toy shop cause such depression? Oh, yes, of course. You once had a case.
Yes, that in a way began with a toy shop, a train set.
One of your more difficult cases, Jules.
Certainly one of my more complex, George. One that caused me... And it was a disturbing case.
Maigret Has Scruples.
Myself for what happened, yet it's difficult not to. Do you remember how cold it was that winter? The damn central heating in my office started to play up. Did I say it was cold? It was like a furnace in my office. I couldn't turn the wretched thing down, nor could Nuclear.
I can't shift it, Chief.
Oh, I hate central heating. Makes the atmosphere heavy. Why couldn't they leave me my old stove? I could work there.
I think they took it away because it was installed before you were born.
Oh, I'm still functioning, although I may keel over in this heat.
Oh, we could open a window.
Oh, then I'll catch my death of cold.
Which is it to be, then?
Well, I shall continue to work without further complaint.
Good, because there's a man waiting to see you. Purpose of call, personal and urgent. Will you see me ask for you specifically?
Well, why not? We're certainly slack at the moment. A lot of influenza about. Seems even criminals take to their beds when they get a little cough. I'll show him in, then. What's his name?
Monsieur Xavier Martin.
I must apologize for troubling you, Chief Inspector.
Please sit down.
You must have lots of calls, like people with their little troubles, convinced they're interesting, and I hesitated a long time before bothering a man as busy as you. Let me assure you of that. Well, now, I've repeated to myself many times what I was going to say, but now it's all getting muddled up.
Look, if you would sit down and try
I prefer to stand.
Look, try to be a little calmer. I might be able to follow
just because
you.
I've been to Dr. Steiner, well, that doesn't mean... Well, just a visit for less than an hour, that couldn't mean that I am mad.
Look, I'm sorry, monsieur, but you must explain. Perhaps I'm a little dull-witted today, the heat in this office. Dr. Steiner. Yes, I know him, one of our best psychiatrists.
He's very thorough. I assure you he found nothing wrong with me. Now, I want to make that quite clear. I'm perfectly sane. But my wife... Well, may I smoke?
Yes, of course. No, not for me, thank you.
Yes, of course. You smoke a pipe. I know quite a lot about you. I'm sorry. I ought to control myself better, but... well...
Allow me.
Thank you. Splendid lighter.
Yeah, present from one of my inspectors. Well, please go on.
I've forgotten what I was saying. It would be better if you asked me some questions. Oh, no, you can't do that, of course, because you don't know what it's all about.
Look, I'm listening.
I work at the Grand Magasin de Lune in the toy department. Trains. You're quite famous, Inspector. In my own way, I'm quite famous too. I'm considered the greatest expert in toy trains in the whole of Paris. Why, we have an exact reconstruction of the Saint-Lazare stations, which I built myself. And don't imagine that our customers are just children. If you saw... am I boring you?
No, I said I was listening.
In any case, it wasn't about electric trains that I came to see you. No, my wife. I live at 17 Avenue du Châtillon. I've lived there ever since I was married. That's why I went to see Dr. Steiner. Because of my wife. Well, I don't want to make any wild accusations, but...
yes?
I think she has been meaning to kill me.
Oh, I see.
Mind you, I haven't any positive proof. Just a kind of... a moral proof. Trifles which are unimportant in themselves, but which, taken together, end up meaning something. Yeah, well, now, I'm not very well educated, but I've been to various libraries to read books on mental disorders, on neurosis and psychosis, things like that. I couldn't understand them properly, but they've made me think.
You're not being very coherent, Monsieur Martin. But if I understand you correctly, you suspect that your wife is not in a normal condition.
Something like that. But this is more tangible. I think you'll find it to be zinc phosphate. I've had it analysed by a friend. Could you have it checked? I've looked it up. I've read quite a lot about poisons, how to use them, things like that. I think you'll find that it is very lethal if given in large doses. Once it was used for medical purposes, but proved too dangerous.
Where did you find it?
In the house. In a cupboard behind the detergents. Not just a few grams, a whole bottle full. But as I said, a few grams wouldn't kill you, although you could get very bad stomach pains. And that's what I've been getting for the last few months.
Which means that if this is zinc phosphate, you think your wife has been using it to try and poison you. Just then the phone rang. It was the chief of police demanding my immediate presence to discuss the details of another case. I asked Martin to wait, expecting only to be away for a few minutes, but it took me longer than expected.
No doubt your superior was a very talkative man.
Correct. When I got back to my office, my nutty pigeon had vanished. Walked out without a word to anybody.
Wasn't he free to go? No charge had been laid.
Perfectly free, but I was worried about what he'd told me. If his wife was trying to kill him... in the end I decided he was probably a crank. We get a lot of them in the course of a year. Well, I wasn't at my best in that steaming office that morning, so I shoved on my hat and went home for lunch. Boiled fish again.
And a nice salad.
Salad. That's the third day running.
Oh, well, I thought...
Louise, are you on a diet?
Oh, I'm bursting out of my dresses. I should lose a little weight.
Well, I'm not on a diet.
Well, you should be.
Louise, is there any reason for this?
Losing a little weight is always a good thing.
Yesterday I noticed you pause for breath coming up the stairs.
I thought you were out of breath. That's why I stopped.
Oh, we should have a maid, save you doing the heavy work.
You think I'm growing old?
No, I didn't say that.
It sounded like it.
How could that be at this time of day? I'll go. Well. Come in, Raoul.
Jules,
What are you doing here?
I said I'd drop in on Louise if I was passing.
And you were passing at this time of day?
Oh, why not? Oh, if I've disturbed your lunch, please carry on.
What's happened?
In what way?
Oh, come on, pardon. You're not only a close friend, Louise, and myself, you're also our doctor. I certainly don't suspect you of having an affair with my wife, yet you arrive at this extraordinary hour and... Louise, the diet. She's ill.
There's nothing to worry about, Jules. She didn't want you to know, that's all. But she's been a bit off colour. I didn't realise you'd be here for lunch. I should have come later.
Look, she's been to see you and didn't tell me. Is it serious?
I just told you. She's a bit overweight. And her circulation isn't all it should be. We're all getting older. Minor repairs are necessary.
And that's why she looks so flushed sometimes.
Yes. I've given her some pills. Look, I've disturbed you. Why don't you finish your meal?
No, I think I shall have a glass of wine instead. Will you join me?
I better not. I have a couple of patients to visit later.
Ah. But you are free at the moment?
Why?
Well, I'd like you to spare me half an hour, a sort of consultation, if you like.
Yeah.
Something that came up this morning in the office. I tried not to let it worry me, but it has. It's not exactly in your field, but you might be able to help me unofficially.
Maigret, you realise what you're asking me? An opinion about a man whom I've never seen, whom you don't really know. You're not going by the book.
Well, to hell with the book. There isn't a book for this case. No complaint has been made, no crime has been committed, but something is wrong. I feel it in my bones. Now, what I really want to know is why this man Martin came to see me, and secondly, why he disappeared without finishing his story.
He suggested that his wife is going mad.
Oh, not in so many words. Why?
Well, that could be an indication that he wasn't exactly stable. A sense of persecution, an unfounded one. I don't know. I'm a family doctor, not a psychiatrist. The barrier between a man of sound mind and a psychopath is a fragile one.
The psychiatrist he went to, Steiner, he might help us?
Steiner's a tricky customer.
Oh, yes, I know. I've watched him as witness in the size quarter.
All right, Jules. I'll phone him. Better I than you. As a doctor, I might get something out of him. I'll let you know later if I have any luck. Oh, I'm going past the Quai des Orfèvres. Do you want a lift?
I'll just tell Louise I expect to be in for dinner, the usual time. Janvier,
Chief?
Did you see that man who came to see me this morning, Martin?
Yes.
Did he see you?
I don't think so.
Good. Now, I want you to go to the Magasin du Louvre. Go to the toy department. Martin seems to be top dog there. His speciality is trains. Find out all you can about him, and try not to look like a policeman.
Why not?
Because we are investigating a non-existent crime, and because I don't want his superiors to know that Martin is being investigated.
Why not?
Because I don't want to run the risk of doing him any unnecessary harm.
What do you want me to ask him?
Hanged if I know.
General inquiries?
Yes.
The lighter all right, Chief?
Oh, thank you, Janvier. Beautiful present. Now, next, I want you to go to 17 Avenue de Châtillon, where Martin lives. Question the concierge and the neighbours. And once again, be discreet. You might do a bit of door-to-door salesmanship with a vacuum cleaner or something.
Chief, without being rude, door-to-door vacuum salesmen no longer exist. I know they did years ago, but...
Look, if anybody else suggests...
Sorry, Chief. I'm on my way.
There's a personal call for you in your office, Chief.
No, thank you. Why is it so cold in here? Maigret.
Jules, it's Raoul Pardon.
Ah.
I phoned Steiner.
Yeah?
No luck, except a carefully guarded statement that he considered Martin sane. Professional oath prevented him saying any more.
Yeah, I understand.
I found a book that might be useful. Would you like me to drop it off at the Quai des Orfèvres?
Well, I'd be grateful, Raoul. And when I've finished dieting, come to dinner.
I should love to.
Chief?
Yes, Luca?
There's someone outside. You'll want to see him.
Oh, will I? Who is it? Why is it so cold in here?
I had the maintenance men over here while you were at lunch. They turned the radiator down.
Well, then turn it up again. Who will I want to see?
Madame Martin. Personal matter, she said.
Madame Martin? Well, what's she like?
Elegant, expensively dressed, different to her husband.
Oh, show her in, Luca.
Right, Chief. Madame?
Thank you. Chief Inspector Maigret.
That is correct. Come in, Madame Martin. Thank you, Luca.
Right, sir.
Will you sit down, Madame?
I expect you know why I am here.
Should I, Madame?
I, too, have been to Dr. Steiner. No doubt my husband told you that when he came to see you this morning.
Well, you must excuse me, Madame.
I followed him here. I saw him come into the building. Did it surprise you, seeing him here?
You know what he came to see me about?
I can easily guess. His mental condition, his despondency, his fear of my trying to kill him, his fear that he's going mad. If only he knew it. Xavier has no need of an interview with a policeman. He needs treatment from a psychiatrist. I've told him that.
You suggested to him that he might be neurotic.
Of course. When you consider his behaviour, what else could I do? He's always been a little odd, but lately... First, he came home complaining about his superiors in the store. Next, about a new salesman whom he accused of trying to worm secrets out of him. About toy trains, of all things. Don't you find that ridiculous? You think I'm being uncharitable. People don't make fun of me because I design and sell brassieres and corsets. Yet that is my work, and I do it successfully. There will always be a market with the middle-aged and the very...
Yes, Madame, I'm sure you're right.
But to get back to Xavier's behaviour. For example, one evening he told me, "You'd make a beautiful widow, wouldn't you?" Then he went on to say that without him I should have a brilliant career, that he was an obstacle to my success. That's when I suggested he should see a psychiatrist. I thought I was being helpful. Do you know his reply? He said I was trying to persuade him he was mad. Can you believe that? Another oddity of behaviour. At meals, he waits until I've swallowed my first mouthful of food before he will taste his own. Is that the action of a rational human being?
Madame Martin, when your husband went to Dr. Steiner, did he tell you the result of his consultation?
He told me nothing. I went to see Dr. Steiner myself. But he refused to comment about Xavier. What more could I do? After my visit, I found Xavier even more difficult, more secretive than ever. Then yesterday he suddenly said to me, "Whatever you do, no matter how cunning you are, there will be somebody who will know about it." I was afraid. That's why I followed him here this morning. Well, I've tried to give you some idea of the situation. Now I'm ready for any questions you may care to ask me.
Exactly why did you come to tell me all this, Madame Martin? Do you want your husband certified?
I don't remember saying anything which would entitle...
Look, you've just admitted you are afraid of your husband.
I'm afraid for him, not of him. Because whatever happens, I'm capable of defending myself.
Yes, I'm sure you are. Then what do you want me to do? Do you want me to make a formal application for him to be examined by a mental specialist?
Certainly not. I've never suggested such a thing.
You work all day, madame?
Yes.
Selling foundation garments?
I work with Monsieur Harris of the Rue Saint-Honoré. I receive a fairly high percentage of the profits from the business, although I have no share in it.
Nonetheless, you're in a good position. Better say than your husband's, right?
Well, I hadn't thought about it. I suppose so. Why?
Well, sometimes a man doesn't like a situation like that. Did you always have your present job?
No, I was once a sales girl in the Magasin du Louvre. That's where I met Xavier. But about 5 years ago, Monsieur Harris was looking for someone to run his lingerie business. I thought it could be interesting. It is now one of the best 3 in Paris.
Is your husband jealous of your success?
Well, I suppose it's possible.
Or perhaps of Monsieur Harris?
I find that an unnecessary question. Maurice and I have a very happy relationship. There seems to be nothing else I can tell you. Perhaps I've been rather foolish. I came here, I suppose, with the vague idea of confiding in you, of expecting some help. As you don't believe me, as you think I'm imagining things unnecessarily.
Madame, do you use zinc phosphate?
Yes. Oh, good heavens! Xavier's found it. I use it to get rid of the rats, both at the Rue Saint-Honoré and at home. It's very effective. Is he suggesting I'm trying to poison him with it?
Something like that.
Then I must explain it to him tonight. I told you, Chief Inspector, he needs treatment.
Only her hands betrayed her nervousness. It was curious in view of her outward calm, but somehow it made me uneasy. I'd had 2 extraordinary interviews that day that added up to nothing. Innuendos, no facts, nothing tangible that I could get hold of, except a little bag of powder which the laboratory had correctly analyzed as being zinc phosphate.
Used to kill rats.
Exactly. That evening, I took home the book on psychiatry that Raoul Pardon had delivered to the Quai des Orfèvres.
Hardly part of your job.
No, but I needed all the help I could get to try and understand these 2 extraordinary people, to understand their real reason for coming to see me. I looked for phrases, for attitudes, anything which might explain them. Neuroses. In Adler's opinion, the starting point of neurosis is an alarming feeling of inferiority and insecurity, a defensive reaction. Mental syndrome, the feeling of incapacity is dominant. That sounds possible in Martin. Neither do they consider themselves blameworthy or at fault. Their pride is characteristic. Arrogance. They bring it into the home. Does that apply to Martin and his wife? Could apply to both of them. Could describe half the population of Paris.
What, dear?
Oh, just thinking aloud. Do you find me arrogant, dominating?
Never arrogant, dear. Sometimes a little firm. You give the impression of being very sure of yourself.
Oh, do I?
But I know it isn't true.
You've got a cold.
The patient considers himself to be the victim of an injustice. Madame or Monsieur Martin. Or both. So many symptoms which could apply to them both. Too much studying confuses the issue. Pardon is right. The difference between insanity and normality is a fragile one.
A difficult case?
Look, I don't even know if I have a case. Now, you will join me in a prunelle, and then we shall go to bed. I must look after my cold.
Morning, Chief. I thought you'd overslept.
Good morning, sir.
How's your cold? I haven't got a cold. Well, Janvier?
Not a lot to report.
Look, have you got a match?
But you're lighter, Chief.
Oh, yes, of course. Go on, Janvier.
Well, to start with, I obviously look more like a policeman than I thought.
Oh.
Martin recognized me at once. I went up to the toy department of the Magasin du Louvre, and I'd only asked him a few questions about the trains. Marvellous displays laid out.
Yes.
When he said, "Tell Chief Inspector Maigret that it's a pretty shabby trick sending you here," he could get me the sack.
Oh.
So I left. I did better at the Avenue de Châtillon, though.
Good.
The Martins don't live in the apartment house proper. They have a small cottage at the end of the courtyard. The ground floor is almost entirely a kind of studio-cum-living room.
How did you find that out?
I used the insurance gimmick. I knocked at the door. A young woman answered. "Madame Martin?" I asked. "No," she said. "My sister won't be back until about 7.
Giselle Martin has a sister. What's she like?
She isn't a beauty, but there is something very feminine about her. It's difficult to describe. A kind of woman you'd like to protect. She wasn't interested in insurance, thank heaven, and she told me that both her sister and brother-in-law were already heavily insured.
She lives with them?
Yes. that's about all.
Right. Lapointe.
Chief?
Listen, my lad, I want you to go to the Magasin du Louvre at lunchtime and follow Martin when he comes out. You get the details from Janvier.
Right.
Then I want you to go to a lingerie shop in the Rue Saint-Honoré, name of Harris.
Oh, me? Well, I couldn't go into a place like that.
Oh, why not? You might have just become engaged. Why are you blushing?
Well, it's just possible, Chief, that I...
Good. Congratulations, Lapointe. So, you could be wanting to buy a nightdress for your proposed fiancée.
Me, sir?
Go on, she'd love one.
Now, Janvier. Lapointe, you don't have to buy one. I just want you to find out all you can about the place.
Did what you told me, Chief. I had no trouble in picking Martin out. He never knew who was being followed.
Well, I should hope not.
Oh. Well, he didn't lunch anywhere near the shop. Instead, he walked to a little cafe about half a kilometre away. That's where he met her.
His wife?
Oh, no, Chief.
Well, who then?
I think it was the sister. The one Janvier described this morning. Well, the age and appearance tally. They didn't kiss, but I think they're lovers. They looked so sad.
Oh, ever the romantic, Lapointe.
Well, I was just trying to give you an impression.
Yeah, I understand. You think they're in love?
Oh, I'm certain of it. I'm sure they aren't unhappy, because you can't be really unhappy when...
Lapointe, a moment ago you said they looked sad.
Well, yes. Sad in a way. Like lovers who aren't free to show their love.
One day, Lapointe, you're going to learn that we can only investigate, charge, and prosecute on substance and fact. Never on impression, on supposition, on conjecture, which may be false.
But, Chief, you've got to go through supposition and conjecture until you uncover a fact. You taught me that.
Oh, did I? Well, get on with it. But this time let me draw my own conclusions.
Well, after lunch, they separated. I didn't follow either of them, but went to the Rue Saint-Honoré. I confess I was scared of going into the shop, but eventually I went in and asked for a nightdress. The woman who served me, or should I say attempted to serve me, was Madame Martin. She offered me a beautiful one. A model created for Princess Hélène of Greece.
Yes.
Do you know how much it was? 4,000 francs. So I asked for something in nylon.
You what? No, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to...
Oh, that's quite all right, sir. Her reaction was somewhat similar to yours.
Yeah, yes.
We don't stock nylon here, she said. Only pure silk and batiste. So I thought it was time to leave. Just as I was going, a well-dressed man came in and went straight into the office at the back of the shop. Madame Martin followed him. As I went out, I heard them laughing and looked back. Madame Martin reached up and smoothed his hair, and then kissed him on the cheek. They were completely at ease with each other. I won't swear that they are lovers, but...
Look, I said I'd draw my own conclusions. So, Martin doesn't lunch with his wife, who works within a few hundred meters of him, but with his sister-in-law, and his wife... Maigret.
Xavier Martin, Chief Inspector.
I
must apologize about yesterday, but I had to get back to the store. I wonder if I could see you again today. I can get to you before 6.
Yes, I'll be waiting for you.
I hope you understand about yesterday, Chief Inspector. Discipline at the store is very strict, and in my position...
Quite.
My wife has been to see you, hasn't she?
What makes you say that?
Nothing tangible. Her manner. Has she been here?
Yesterday you came to see me and told me that you were afraid for your life. I suppose you're here today to give me further details, or do you wish to lodge a complaint against your wife?
No. It wouldn't do any good.
No, why have you come then?
So that you will know that if anything happens to me, that I haven't killed myself, and that I haven't died of natural causes. No, I'm not mad. I told you about Dr. Steiner, but I'm still convinced that my wife will try and kill me. It was zinc phosphate, wasn't it?
Yes.
So, you see, I do know a lot about poisons, how they can go undetected. But I don't intend to go quietly.
Oh, what exactly does that mean?
I'm taking precautions. I'm not going to rely on the law. And if I have enough time...
Monsieur, I'm confused. Am I mistaken in thinking that you intend to kill your wife in advance, so to speak?
Only if she has succeeded in poisoning me. I shall know. I shall be capable of action. Death by poisoning is rarely instantaneous. If I feel a pain in my stomach... don't worry, Chief Inspector. I'll be able to tell the difference between poison symptoms and indigestion. And I have a revolver at home.
So, if you think you've been...
No, not think. Feel. Feel that I've been poisoned, then I shan't hesitate. I'll shoot her.
Oh, you made a very serious admission, Monsieur Martin. Not sure that I shouldn't send you to the special infirmary for examination.
Is that really necessary? You can check with Dr. Steiner.
Well...
Oh, I see. You have already?
Up to a point. Would you submit willingly to an examination by another doctor?
Of course. When? I have to get time off from the shop.
Well, tomorrow, about 11, would that be too early?
That would be fine.
Huh. You are a curious fellow, Monsieur Martin. Do you, love your wife?
I did, once.
Well, how does your sister-in-law fit into all this?
Oh, you have been making inquiries. She came to live with us about 2 years ago. That's when I began to realize what Giselle was really like, when my eyes were opened.
How do you mean?
Her dislike for her sister. I found it unnatural. And Jenny's so different, so gentle.
Well, sisters don't always like each other.
It's much stronger than dislike. She puts up with Jenny because she's useful. Jenny keeps house for us as a way of contributing to the rent. It's convenient for Giselle. She can pursue her business career and her affair with her employer without interference.
Oh, you think she and Monsieur Harris are lovers?
I know they are.
Then why hasn't she asked you for a divorce?
Monsieur Harris is married to a very wealthy woman.
Well, what about you? What would you like? You said your eyes were open when your sister-in-law came to live with you. In what way?
Oh, well, when I realized that there were other sorts of...
You love her?
Yes.
She's your mistress?
No.
Does she love you?
I think she's beginning to.
Is there anything else you want to tell me?
There's an insurance policy. A joint one. It's been arranged so that the surviving partner benefits.
Then you have as much financial interest in your wife's death as she would have in yours.
That's why I mentioned it. It would enable her to buy an equal share in the Saint-Honoré shop. Well, if there's nothing else, Chief Inspector.
Well, I hated to let him go. If anything was going to happen... No, I had to do something about it. Lapointe and Lucas were the unlucky ones. I arranged they should spend the night observing the house in the Avenue de Châtillon. Lucas agreed to take over from Lapointe around midnight.
What did you do?
Oh, I went home to bed, of course. I had to look after my cold.
I thought you said you didn't have one.
No, I had to keep up the morale of the office, didn't I? Well, I went to bed early. Just as well. The phone rang at 6:30.
Jules?
Lapointe, Lucas...
Chief Inspector Maigret?
Yeah.
Oh, this is the emergency service, Inspector Jules.
Oh, what is it?
We had a phone call from a woman a few moments ago.
A woman?
She asked me to get in touch with you and to tell you to go to the Avenue de Châtillon straight away.
Huh?
Says you know all about it.
Did she give her name?
No.
Oh, thanks. Which woman? Giselle Martin, or her sister? I've done what I could to prevent it. Seems I haven't done enough.
I'll get you some coffee.
It took me about 20 minutes to get to the Avenue de Châtillon. I didn't find what I expected. Lucas had called the Criminal Records Office, and Dr. Paul was examining the body.
Of Xavier Martin.
Oh, yes.
It had to be. If the sister-in-law had phoned, there would have been two bodies. Giselle Martin shot, and Xavier Martin poisoned as he had predicted might happen. So it had to be Giselle who phoned and the victim Martin.
Well, that's logical enough, I suppose. I confess I hadn't reasoned it out. Now, I was upset that a crime which I had anticipated had happened, and I'd been unable to prevent it.
Xavier Martin had been poisoned.
Yeah. He was lying on the floor of the studio-cum-living room. One got the impression that he'd collapsed while crawling on all fours. His right hand was stretched out as if he'd tried to reach a revolver, which was also lying on the floor, about 8 inches away from the fingers. I couldn't understand why Lucas hadn't contacted me instead of Giselle Martin phoning the emergency service. Later, he told me that she'd phoned before he discovered anything was wrong. He'd been watching the cottage from the road quite a distance away. It was only when most of the lights were turned on that he knocked at the door to find out if anything had happened. Oh, my crime prevention methods have proved to be very futile.
There was nothing more you could have done.
Well, I might have detained Martin at the Quai des Orfèvres the previous night, but he was so willing to be examined. Hadn't any real reason for that kind of action. Anyway, after making a pretty thorough investigation of the cottage, I took the 2 women to headquarters. I ordered coffee and croissant and went to the cloakroom to shave.
To shave?
Yes. And I took my time. I wanted to give the women time to think, time to decide on their attitude and the statements they would make. I decided to question Giselle Martin first.
You think I poisoned my husband, don't you?
I don't think anything. Just tell me what happened.
As I heard the doctor say he believed Xavier was poisoned, you'll want to know what we ate last night.
Who prepared the meal?
My sister, as usual.
Do you hate her?
Is that what Xavier told you?
Something like that.
He was quite wrong. I'm merely indifferent. She's a very spoiled young woman.
What did you eat?
Soup, ham and salad, cheese and pears.
Coffee?
Yes. Jenny prepared that also. She brought it from the kitchen on a tray.
You don't help in the kitchen?
Seldom. And no, it wasn't I who put poison in the cups.
You think there was poison in the coffee? And why do you say cups? Only your husband died, yet you all drank your coffee, I presume?
Yes. You'll find out I'm right when you get a report from your experts, so I'm going to save you time. Last night, all I did was to take a precaution I've been taking for some months. When Jenny brought in the tray with the coffee, I switched the cups around, so that the cup that was meant for me became my husband's. That's the one he drank.
And what conclusion does that bring you to?
Xavier went into the kitchen for a moment. He could have put poison in my cup if he wanted to. But that doesn't explain the poison in the other cup.
What?
You see, I was poisoned too.
You?
I've surprised you, Chief Inspector. I woke up in the middle of the night with burning stomach pains. I forced myself to be sick in the bathroom.
Oh, didn't you call your sister, your husband?
When one of them had tried to murder me.
No, what about the police?
I thought of that, and perhaps I would have, but I was going back to my bedroom when I heard Xavier cry out from downstairs. I started down, and I watched him die. He was lying on the floor as you found him, but he was still alive then. When he heard me coming, he tried to reach the pistol. I realized then that he'd been coming towards the stairs when he fell, weakened by the poison, and the gun had slipped from his hands.
Yes, he said he'd try and...
Yes?
Doesn't matter.
He raised his head and tried to speak. I've never seen a face so full of hatred.
You didn't go down to him?
Why take that risk? I couldn't be sure that he didn't still have enough strength to use the pistol. Then he had several spasms and went still.
So your husband drank from the cup that was meant for you, yet you were still poisoned. You know what this means?
No.
It means that you are accusing your sister of trying to murder both of you.
I'm not accusing anyone. Xavier was so unstable he could have poisoned both cups to commit suicide and kill me at the same time.
No, Madame Martin. Your husband's behavior might have appeared somewhat incoherent, but it followed a more or less logical pattern. He would never have committed suicide until he was sure that you were dead. There is another explanation. Oh, there wasn't any point in going on questioning her. I would have liked to charge her, but I had nothing to charge her with. I wanted her out of my office as soon as I could, so I let her go to open her shop.
I don't understand. Why should the sister try and kill them both?
Well, she never tried to. No, I had her sent to my office. And as I knew more or less what had happened, I didn't beat about the bush. You admit that you intended to poison your sister?
I don't know. I don't know anymore. I suppose so. She didn't understand him. She was driving him out of his mind, suggesting continuously that he was unbalanced. She's very cunning. I think she left the poison around knowing that Xavier would do something foolish in the end.
Did he tell you that he was coming for an examination this morning?
Yes. That's what frightened him. I tried to reassure him, but it was no use. He was convinced that after he saw your doctor, you wouldn't let him go free again.
No, it wouldn't have come to that. It looks as if he needed treatment, but...
Anyway, that's what he thought. That she had won, and he only had one evening left.
To free himself of your sister?
Yes. So he decided to...
Oh, go on.
I'd made the coffee when he came into the kitchen. I had my back to him. He was only there for a few seconds.
And you thought he hadn't had the courage to go through with it, so you put the poison in your sister's cup?
Yes. I felt sorry for him. But how did Xavier die?
Your sister switched the cups.
Oh, my God. I killed him.
Well, it's a pity he didn't tell you exactly what he intended, and then you wouldn't have been so deeply involved. Xavier didn't intend to get rid of your sister by poisoning her. You didn't put any poison in his cup, did you?
No.
But Xavier did. During those few seconds he was in the kitchen. He calculated the dose so that he would make himself ill enough to justify the action he was going to take, but not ill enough to die. You see, he intended to shoot her. It was not for nothing that he made a study of poisons. For me, it was all over. The rest was up to the judges. I need a pipe.
Try some of my tobacco. It's a different blend.
Look, all your blends are disgusting, Georges. I'll use my own, thank you. Have you got a match?
What happened to your lighter?
Oh, my lighter. Oh, I've lost it. No idea where. Janvier was none too pleased. Offered to buy me another, but I prefer my matches.
Yes, Jules.
Ah, thank you, Georges. Oh, should I?
Yes.
Oh, all right, then.
I don't know how many games of chess you and I have played over the years, Jules, and yet you obstinately remain an atrocious player.
Well, I don't like playing out of doors.
But in this weather...
Well...
Would you like another game indoors?
I should like another beer.
Then you shall have one.
Georges.
Yes, Jules?
Do you remember the Princess de Verre?
What on earth makes you ask a question like that?
Oh, I don't know. Losing my queen to you, perhaps. Oh, thank you. Maybe think of the royal families of Europe for some reason, and high society in general. Not that I've ever been that involved in high society. I don't move in those exalted circles, but once, if you remember, I was very much involved in them, and all because of the princess.
Maigret and society.
She was a remarkable old woman.
The Princess de Verre?
Yes. Do you remember how it all started? I was clearing up my desk in the Quai des Orfèvres one morning.
Clearing up the work you should have done.
The paperwork, yes. When I got a message from the director instructing me to go to the Quai d'Orsay. The Foreign Office wished to see an inspector capable of assuming responsibilities. I took Janvier with me.
Chief Inspector Maigret.
How do you do? This is Inspector Janvier.
How do you do? Ah, yes. Take a seat, please.
Oh, thank you.
This is a somewhat exceptional situation. May I introduce Mademoiselle Jacquette Larieux?
How do you do?
Monsieur. Mademoiselle Larieux is, or rather was, the housekeeper of one of the most distinguished of our former ambassadors, the Count de Saint-Hilaire. You've probably heard of him. She's been in his service for over 40 years.
42, monsieur.
This morning, Mademoiselle Larieux discovered him in his study.
Dead.
He seems to have been...
Murdered. Shot several times.
You called the local police?
No. Mademoiselle Larieux thought it better to come directly here. She has spent a large part of her life in the diplomatic world, and considered that although the Count was no longer engaged in active service, some discretion was necessary. She felt she should approach a responsible official first.
I see.
Well, no diplomat. The newspapers, you know. Although I am authorized to inform you that the Count de Saint-Hilaire was not in the possession of any state secrets, and that you must not look for any political reason for his death.
Must not?
I suggest that you accompany Mademoiselle Larieux to the Count's residence in the Rue Saint-Dominique. I will come with you.
Well,
Don't worry, I shall not interfere. I am coming simply to make sure that there is nothing there which might embarrass you.
You were right, mademoiselle. The Count was shot several times.
As I told you.
Quite. Janvier, the local police should be informed.
Right, Chief.
And get onto the Criminal Records Office. Try and get Meurs. He's a good man. And Dr. Paul, we need his report.
Right. Mademoiselle, can you tell me where the phone is, please?
In the hall.
Thank you.
This is interesting.
Huh?
It would appear the Count was busy correcting proofs of his memoirs.
Really?
2 volumes have already appeared. I'm sure there is nothing to worry about. He was the most discreet of men. However...
what are you doing now, Monsieur Cormier?
It is my duty to make quite sure that there aren't any papers here, the divulgation of which would be inopportune.
Divulgation?
Ah, yes. Here are the letters. But they should prove harmless.
Or letters from whom?
It's an old story which everybody knows at the Quai d'Orsay. They can have nothing to do with this affair.
But there are hundreds of them.
Hardly surprising. It's a correspondence stretching over 50 years.
Correspondence?
From the Princess de Verre to the Count de Saint-Hilaire. However, there seems to be nothing else of importance.
Look, I must ask you to remove nothing from this flat at present.
I do not think that will be necessary, Chief Inspector. However, once again, I must recommend prudence and discretion.
Listen, prudence...
Moles and his men are on their way, Chief.
Ah, good. Would you show Monsieur Cormier out, Janvier?
Right, Chief.
Sir?
I shall ring you if you don't mind, to find out how
This
things
way,
are
sir.
going.
We'll get in touch if we need to.
Good.
If you'll excuse me, Chief Inspector, I would like to get on with my housework.
In a moment, mademoiselle. First, I should like a word with you.
Well?
Do you sleep in this flat?
I have a room of my own.
There are no other servants?
It has not been necessary. I have tended the Count's every need for 42 years.
Yeah, as you remarked earlier. How old are you?
As if that is of importance. 71.
And the Count?
He was a little older.
When did you last see him alive?
Last night, at 10 o'clock, just before I went to bed.
Was he expecting anyone?
It's unlikely. Although his nephew sometimes calls late in the evening, he lives quite near.
His name?
Mazarin. Alain Mazarin.
You don't like him? Oh, this morning, what happened?
I got up as usual at 6 o'clock and washed. I had my breakfast, cleaned the kitchen, prepared coffee for the Count, and discovered his body as you find it now. I went straight to the Quai d'Orsay, as you know.
Oh, she was a stiff-necked old girl. I didn't know what to make of her. I went on questioning her, but I didn't get very far. Of course not. But I did ascertain that the windows were locked when she found the Count in his study. There were no signs of any forced entry. Nothing appeared to be missing. Most importantly, that she and the Count were the only people to possess keys to the flat. Moyers and Dr. Paul arrived while I was still questioning her.
Morning, Chief Inspector.
Ah, glad we got you, Moyers. And you, Dr. Paul.
Morning, Maigret. Well, let's have a look at him.
Here he is.
I should like to go out. I should like to go to church.
Later, perhaps.
Then may I at least be permitted to go to my room?
Oh, yes, of course.
Thank you.
I understand this is the Count de Saint-Hilaire.
Yes.
He's been shot 4 times.
All right, Mars, it's all yours.
Right.
Janvier.
Chief?
I'm going to have a talk with the Count's nephew, Mazarin, Alain Mazarin. If I can worm his address out of Mademoiselle Larieux. When Mars is finished, send the body to the morgue, will you?
Yes, Chief.
Dead? Good God.
When did you last see your uncle, Monsieur Mazarin?
The, day before yesterday.
For any particular reason?
To be frank, I was a little short of ready cash. He's been very generous to me in the past.
Was he a wealthy man?
He had a small private income, and he owns the block of flats in which he lives. He was comfortably off, but not what you would call a wealthy man.
And do you know who will benefit from his death?
I understand that I will inherit the bulk of the estate.
I see.
Have you any idea why he was killed?
I know next to nothing.
Robbery, perhaps?
Well, I doubt it. The windows were locked from the inside, and there was no sign of a forced entry.
What does Jacquette think?
Oh, that is proving rather hard to discover. She doesn't seem to like you.
She doesn't like anybody except my uncle. If she'd had her way, nobody would ever have been allowed near him.
Do you think she might have been capable of killing him?
Killing him? Jacquette?
You hesitate?
It's just... Oh, you made me wonder. It's, possible, I suppose. She could be jealous.
An old lady like that, jealous? You mean to say she was in love with it?
It's more than possible. They once had an affair. She was very attractive when she was young. I wonder, with the prince's death...
The prince?
The Prince de Verray. He died on Sunday.
Did he now?
Have you read the letters yet?
I don't follow you. Oh, the letters from the Princess de Verray. No, not yet. But how could Jacquette be connected with them?
You'll understand when you've read them. If you like, I'll come to the flat with you. There might be some way in which I could help.
Thank you.
Maurice and his men have finished, Chief. Dr. Paul will let you have his report later. The body's on the way to the morgue.
Thank you, Janvier. This is Monsieur Mazarin, the Count's nephew.
How do you do?
How do you do?
Where's the old lady?
Sulking in her room because you wouldn't let her go out.
Oh, well, ask her to come in here, will you?
Right, Chief.
Now, let's have a look at those letters we were talking about, Monsieur Mazarin. Good Lord, thousands of them. How is it you know who wrote them, Mazarin?
Everybody knows in diplomatic circles. In society, I mean. I believe the princess and my uncle wrote to each other nearly every day.
I know it's none of my business, but a person's letters are sacred.
Ah, mademoiselle. Can you tell me if the Count owned any firearms?
Nor is that any of my business.
Nevertheless, did he own a pistol or a revolver? Look, did you hear my question?
I think he had a revolver of some kind.
Where did he keep it?
I don't know. I haven't seen it for a long time. It used to be kept in the chest of drawers in his bedroom.
Did Moyes find one, Janvier?
No, Chief.
You should leave those letters alone. It is private correspondence.
Look, perhaps, mademoiselle, you would care to go back to your bedroom or to the kitchen if you prefer. I expect you want to prepare yourself some lunch.
As if I could eat on a day like this.
It's incredible. 50 years of letters.
About that. I understand they met and fell in love when my uncle was 26, and after her marriage to the prince, they never met again.
Oh, why didn't they marry?
As was the practice in those days, an arrangement was made between two great families, and, if I may use this word, the princess was obliged to marry the Prince de Verray. After all, she was the daughter of the Duc de Sac.
And she wasn't in love with the prince?
No, she was not in love with the prince.
Did the prince know about this correspondence?
Of course. Isabel would never have conducted such a relationship behind his back. Hubert understood and agreed not to consummate the marriage.
Hubert, I take it, is the prince?
Correct.
So they had no children?
They had a son.
Huh?
Philippe. Now Prince Philippe, since his father's death.
An unconsummated marriage at a Salle.
You will no doubt find many of the answers to your questions in the letters.
Well, we have a lot of reading to do, haven't we, Janvier? Well, thank you, Monsieur Mazarin. I don't think we need to detain you any longer. You've been most helpful.
Well, if there's anything
Janvier, get Lapointe over here and show Monsieur Mazarin out.
Yes, Chief.
In the meantime, I'll start on these letters. When Lapointe arrives, you and I shall have lunch. I'm not only hungry, I'm very, very thirsty.
You're quiet, Chief?
Well, I'm thinking about these people. The Count, the Princess, even Mazarin. I'm not used to them, to their way of life, to their habits, their way of thinking. But the answer to the Count's death lies there somewhere, I'm sure of it, and it's a world I know nothing about.
Nor me.
Now, those letters, you've read some of them. What do you think?
I felt like a voyeur. Jacquette's right. They're private. Nothing to do with the case.
Or everything. Well, what facts do they offer? The Prince was 84 when he died. Fact. The letters indicate that the Princess and the Count intended to marry if the Prince predeceased them. Fact. The Princess and the Count never met after her marriage to the Prince.
That's not a fact, Chief. That's conjecture.
Well, something I'm prepared to bet on. Now, if I remember correctly, she wrote in one letter, I saw you across the Opera House. How distinguished you looked. How I wish that we could be together again. So close and yet so far away, it's been so long.
The marriage will not be consummated. Fact, the Princess had a son.
Yeah. Explained in one of the letters, as Mazarin said it would be.
Oh?
Yeah, my brother-in-law is dead. Oh, my dear Armand, the family name cannot be carried on as we hoped through him. I've had a long conversation with Hubert. I've been to my confessor. I've wept a great deal.
So she bore him a son, Philippe.
Fact and duty. I've wept a great deal.
And after that?
Well, from the letters, the Princess seemed to have preserved a most peculiar kind of chastity. A fidelity to the Count which everybody in those circles appeared to have condoned and respected, including, surprisingly, the Prince. Chastity and fidelity from the Princess, but not so much from the Count. That was extraordinary. I think this is the most open, secret love affair I've ever come across. Oh, come on, Janvier. We better get back to the Count's flat. Lapointe, we brought you back a beer.
Oh, thanks, Chief.
Anything new? Any phone calls?
Oh, mostly from the press, and Monsieur Cremiere from the Foreign Office.
Oh, I'm glad I was at lunch.
Oh, and Dr. Paul rang. And he said the first shot was fired from the front of the desk at point-blank range. And he's certain that that is the shot which killed the Count. After that, the body fell forward and slipped onto the carpet.
How does he know that?
Well, because the other shots, 3 in all, were fired from above, from less than 2 feet. And to do this, the killer had to walk around to the other side of the desk after the first shot had been fired. Do you see what this means, Chief?
No, you tell me, Lapointe, calmly.
Well, it looks to me like an act of vengeance or an exceptional amount of hate. I mean, why go on firing if the Count was already dead? And why only 4 shots? Dr. Paul said a Browning 301 was used, and that holds 6 cartridges.
Perhaps the gun jammed. Lapointe, borrow a Browning from the constable on duty and ask Mademoiselle Larieux to come in here.
Right, Chief.
Do you think it was an act of vengeance, Chief?
Act of vengeance? Oh, perhaps. Now, what I find strange is that not only haven't we managed to find a pistol, we haven't managed to find any of the cartridge cases. Cartridge cases from a Browning 301 should scatter quite a distance. So the killer had the presence of mind to pick them up after he or she had killed the Count.
Here's the Browning, Chief.
Ah, good. And Mademoiselle Larieux?
Where did you...
Come in, Mademoiselle Larieux. You recognize this gun, hmm?
Why should I recognize it?
Well, it is the type of gun the Count possessed, though. Hmm?
I suppose so.
Yes, the same size, the same weight. Hold it.
I most certainly will not. It wouldn't be any use anyway. I never touched the one in the drawer.
You can take it back to the constable, Lapointe.
Yes, Chief.
Now, mademoiselle, the letters. You knew the Count was in love, hmm?
I used to post his letters to the Princess, if that is what you mean.
Are you jealous?
I find that an offensive remark. I am 71. My confessor...
You're a pious woman. Were you ever the Count's mistress? But were you jealous of his affairs? It would seem he had several.
I wouldn't know.
If he did, they were none of my business. And anyway, he had a right to have affairs if he wished, hadn't he?
Has the Princess de Verre ever been to this flat?
Never.
Did you think of ringing the Princess when you discovered the Count was dead? Why not?
Because today is the day of the Prince's funeral.
Well, thank you, mademoiselle. You may go out now if you wish.
Monsieur.
Getting her to say anything is like squeezing a dried-out lemon.
Oh, I'm going round to the Count's solicitors. You trot off and see if you can find out anything more about Mazarin. I don't like that man. There's something about him I distrust. Lapointe.
Yes, Chief?
Go on questioning the old lady, but gently. Don't press her too hard. You may appeal to her more than Janvier or I do. You have a reputation for charming elderly ladies.
Me, Chief?
Yeah. Come on, Janvier, let's get going.
It's very sad, Chief Inspector. I first met Armand, over 60 years ago. We were together in the sixth form. Tragic.
I suppose he left a will with you?
Indeed, yes. I drew it up myself. I've just been looking at it.
Does the nephew, Mazarin, inherit everything?
Broadly speaking, yes.
That's what he told me.
The housekeeper, Jacquette Larieux, receives a pension which will enable her to end her days in comfort. As for furniture, pictures, personal belongings, they are bequeathed to an old friend.
Isabelle de Verre.
Oh, you obviously know all about it.
Oh, doesn't everybody? Had the Count any enemies that you know of?
How could he? He never jostled anyone out of position. He waited his turn in the Foreign Office. His memoirs have proved most circumspect. No, the Count was a man of tremendous distinction. Always a man of honor.
I suppose Jacquette Larieux was his mistress.
That is not the word I would choose. Armand was a bon vivant. He rarely let a pretty girl come near him without trying his luck.
I'm told Jacquette was very attractive when young.
Oh, indeed, yes, and it is likely that if the opportunity occurred... need I go on? But mistress, no, I think not.
Well, thank you, Maître. You've been most helpful.
Ah, yes, I suppose you're in a hurry. Everybody's in a hurry these days. Don't forget, I'm entirely at your service.
Thank you.
Yes, entirely. Goodbye.
I left the old solicitor's office nonplussed. I had the impression of being immersed in a distant past, in a world which had, so to speak, vanished.
It's a long time since I've heard the phrase, man of honor. The world has changed, Jules.
Well, I was utterly confused. I went into a cafe and ordered a beer. No motive for the Count's murder? Well, there had to be one. People don't commit murder without a motive. All these old people, a crime of passion? God, this seemed to be a ridiculous idea. 2 old ladies, one a princess, one a maidservant. 2 old men, a prince and a count. Both dead within 4 days of each other. A coincidence or something more?
Where did the nephew, Mazarin, fit in? A matter of money?
It was possible. Anyway, I drank my beer and went back to the Rue Saint-Dominique. Janvier had arrived back before me.
Did you know that Mazarin is married, Chief?
Eh? Well, there was no wife about when I saw him.
Hardly surprising. They've been separated for the past 8 years. I managed to track her down, though.
And?
Well, Mazarin's not a very pleasant man, if I can believe her. And I think I can. Petty-minded to the point of sadism. Not violent. He appears to have favoured mental cruelty, so she left him. For a while he supported her and their 2 children. Not at the moment, however.
Very concise, Janvier. Why doesn't he support her now?
Shortage of money, I suppose.
Which means he could have murdered his uncle to hasten his inheritance.
Coffee, Chief. With the compliments of Mademoiselle Larieux.
What?
Not as gracious as it would seem. She wanted me out of her kitchen.
Did you get any more out of her, Lapointe?
Nothing. You were wrong about my charms, Chief. At least as far as this elderly lady is concerned. I started to question her, very gently as instructed. Was more or less told that I couldn't teach my grandmother to suck eggs. Here.
Thank you. Oh, there's one person in this case I haven't seen yet, and it's one interview I'm not looking forward to.
Who's that with?
The Princess de Valais. I thought, Madame, that I should get in touch with you, if only to give you a few details.
Of course. You have read the letters.
Well...
I am most grateful to you for coming, Chief Inspector. My first impulse was to go over to the Rue Saint-Dominique when I heard of Armand's death. I would have liked to have seen him just once more.
How did you find out about his death?
From my son, Philippe. He's staying with me at the moment, together with my daughter-in-law and my 2 grandchildren. He read of it in the newspapers.
See, I thought perhaps Mademoiselle Larieux might have phoned you.
Oh, it wasn't possible. My son has disconnected the telephones. We've had so many calls since my husband died. What I would like to know, did Armand die in pain?
No, Madame, he died instantly.
In his study, next to the bedroom?
You been there?
Once, long ago, with Jacquette's connivance, when Armand was absent.
Jacquette lied.
It is understandable, is it not? For years, I've been accustomed to living in imagination with him. Much he told me in his letters. But Jacquette arranged matters so that I was able just once to look inside his home.
Now, you and the Count intended to marry if the Prince predeceased you?
Most certainly.
Was Jacquette jealous?
Oh, of his mistresses in the old days, yes, I think she was. But not of me.
Do you think she was once the Count's mistress?
There can be no doubt of it. Armand never attempted to conceal anything from me. I remember he wrote once, "Jacquette is nervy today. I must remember to pleasure her tonight." Does it surprise you? Yet it is so natural.
Are you aware of the terms of the will?
Armand insisted on leaving me his furniture, so that if he happened to die before me, I would have an impression, to some extent, of having been his wife. With his furniture, I shall have his flat reconstructed here. An old woman's whim, no doubt. I haven't long to live, but no matter how little time may be left, I shall live it in his setting, as if I were his widow.
Your late husband knew of your plans?
But of course. We had nothing to hide. Armand was a very old friend.
And your son?
We made no attempt at concealment. The whole family knows about my feelings for Armand.
And Jacquette knew of your plans to marry?
She looked forward to my doing so.
Oh, I see.
Is there anything else you would like to ask me, Chief Inspector? Is there any other way in which I might help you?
Yes, I would like to speak to your son, if that's possible.
But of course. Will you come this way? Philippe?
Yes, Mamma?
This is Chief Inspector Maigret. He would like a word with you.
Oh, of course. How do you do, Chief Inspector? Please, come in.
Thank you.
Now, if there is nothing more I can do for you, I should like to be left alone.
Thank you, Madame. You've been most kind.
My mother is more upset than she pretends. Do sit down. A cigarette?
Thank you. No, thank you. I smoke a pipe.
Oh, so do I usually, but not in this house. My mother hates it.
Yeah, I thought she might.
I suppose you want to talk about Saint-Hilaire.
Well, a few questions, that's all. It's a curious coincidence, you must admit.
Oh, you mean he and my father dying within 4 days of each other?
Oh, it's a thought.
Oh, no more than that. I suppose that suicide is out of the question.
Why do you ask that? Had the Count any reason for suicide?
You never know what's going on in people's heads. Look at Mother's romance. The unreality of it. The impossibility. All her life she's kept up this mystic love for a man she only saw occasionally from a distance. Oh, I suppose it was harmless enough. Indeed, my father was the first to smile at it.
How did you feel about it?
It was no concern of mine.
I suppose not. Well, as a matter of form, I must ask you one particular question.
Where was I last night? At what time, Chief Inspector?
Well, let's say between 10 o'clock and midnight.
I dined with the family and then went for a stroll along the Champs-Élysées at about 10 o'clock.
Until midnight?
Well, no. This might strike you as a little peculiar in view of my bereavement, but whenever I come to Paris, I'm in the habit of spending an hour or two with a pretty woman. This is not possible where I live.
And you found one and went to her home?
We went to the hotel in Rue de Berry. It appears to be her home. There were clothes in the bedroom, personal belongings in the bathroom.
Forgive my insistence, but
Well, she was a brunette, not very tall. She was wearing a green dress, and she has a beauty spot under one breast. I think it was the left one. You should be able to verify.
Yes, of course. Oh, thank you. I didn't go back to the Rue Saint-Dominique after leaving the de Verre home.
Oh, you went to the nearest cafe for a drink instead.
Well, yes. I needed to sort things out.
Of course.
It was all so confusing. A man had been killed, but who had killed him and why? Was Jacquette jealous? Was Mazarin, whom his wife accused of mental cruelty, unbalanced? Was the princess telling me the truth?
Was she, Jules?
I believe so. She was a very charming lady. And Philippe? How did he really feel about his mother's ridiculous romantic love affair? Was there bitterness in his mind whenever he considered the situation of his conception? Now, the more I thought about them all, the more confused and angry I got. I'm afraid both Lapointe and Louise had to suffer my ill temper that night. Lapointe, I want you to stay in the Count's flat overnight. Well, she can wait. Put Janvier on. Janvier, I want you to check on Philippe de Verre's statement and... Well, of course you don't know what it was. I haven't told you yet. You got a pencil? Yeah, I know your memory is excellent. Look, I want you to go to the hotel in the Rue de Berry. I want you to question the proprietor. Then I went home. Louise suggested the cinema, but instead of going out, I sat grumpily in my corner, puffing at my pipe. I'm afraid I drank too much.
You can be very bad-tempered.
Oh, thanks. The next morning, I waited at the Quai des Orfèvres for Janvier's report. He arrived about 11, looking fresh as a daisy.
Absolutely clean, Chief. What de Verre said was true. I found the woman, he accosted her about 10 to 11, stayed about half an hour.
That means he left her before 11:30.
Yes, Chief.
All right, so he wasn't lying.
Right.
Come in.
Morning, Chief Inspector.
Maurice, sit down. All right, Janvier, I've shown you plenty to do.
Oh, yes, Chief.
You read my report?
Not yet. What about the fingerprints in the flat?
Well, the Count's, of course, Jacquette Larieux, a few of yours, many of Cromier's.
Oh.
I've made an inventory of everything we found.
Any money?
A few thousand francs in a wallet and some change in a drawer in a kitchen.
It doesn't make sense. I've had an idea, Maurice. Have you submitted Jacquette to the paraffin test?
I wouldn't do that without your permission.
Well, you've got it. Go over there. Explain gently. Don't frighten her.
How do I explain gently to an old lady that I'm trying to find out if she's fired a pistol during the last 48 hours?
No, you'll think of something. Tell her it's a formality.
I'll phone you with the results.
If you can't get me here, I'll be in the examining magistrate's office.
Right.
Chief, there's a young man to see you. Julien de Verre, Philippe de Verre's son.
Oh. Well, show him in, Janvier.
Right, Chief. Will you go in, please?
Thank you. Ah, monsieur, I saw you at my grandmother's house yesterday. I wanted to talk to you then, but I couldn't. Not in front of my father.
Why not? Sit down.
Thank you. Well, it's about my relationship with the Count de Saint-Hilaire.
You knew him?
Oh, yes.
Did your father know about this?
He knew. I'm not sure he approved.
How did you come to meet him?
At a friend's place. I'd wanted to meet him for a long time. I'd heard so much about him, you see, from my grandmother. And when I told him I was going into the diplomatic service, he was interested and very helpful. He invited me to the Rue Saint-Dominique, and we talked about my studies and my ambitions. After that, I used to see him there occasionally, about once a month.
And your grandmother knew about these visits?
Oh, yes. Well, the Count insisted that both she and my father should know. Otherwise, I could not have gone. My grandmother and I are very close. We often discussed my visits. She would ask me for details. It was she, in fact, who suggested that I go and see him on the afternoon of the day he was murdered.
Really?
She wanted to know how he was reacting to the death of my grandfather. I was curious, too. I knew they'd sworn to marry if it ever became possible.
The idea appealed to you, huh?
It did, rather. Those two old people in love for so long. Anyway, what I wanted to tell you, I don't know whether it will be helpful or not, was that the Count didn't seem himself when I saw him. He looked worried and upset. I brought up the question of his possible marriage to my grandmother. It seemed only natural. And he said, oh, I wish I could remember his exact words, but it was something like, "It won't be possible." But what was extraordinary was that, well, that he looked afraid when he said it. I'd swear that he thought his life was in danger. Well, that's all, really. It doesn't tell you much, does it? Perhaps I oughtn't to have come.
No, you did right to come. Thank you. I'd swear he thought his life was in danger. Young Julien de Verre had worried me, Georges.
So what did you do?
Well, as I always do when I'm worried. I moped around the Quai des Orfèvres, putting my spoke into everyone's work. Well, then in the afternoon, Maurice came to see me. Well, Maurice?
It's positive. The paraffin test on Jacquette Larrieux's hands.
My God.
She's definitely fired a gun in the last 24 hours. Well, what are you going to do?
Tell me, Maurice, how does one arrest an old woman of over 70? You've recently used a firearm, mademoiselle. The test we carried out showed that. Now, particles of powder and chemical substances are ingrained in a person's skin and remain for some time when that person has used a firearm. How did it happen?
I have nothing to say.
What have you done with the gun? I don't know what your motive was, but I can hazard a guess. You've lived with the Count for a very long time. You've been as intimate with him as any two human beings can be. If he hadn't been killed, he would have married the princess. Would you have kept your position in the household? Mademoiselle, I have been questioning you for over an hour. Your silence is not helping you. It's possible that this is a case of diminished responsibility. Your lawyer will certainly argue that this was a crime of passion. If you plead guilty, you will have every chance of moving the jury.
I have nothing to say.
Look, you're entitled to a lawyer. Do you want me to give you a list of lawyers?
It would be of no use.
Well, shall I choose one
There
for you?
isn't any point.
You admit you shot your employer?
I have nothing to say.
Is there anybody you would like to see? The princess, perhaps? Mademoiselle, we have material evidence that you fired one or more of those shots. Will you please tell me why?
Am I entitled to see a priest?
You want a confessor?
I am simply asking permission to talk to a priest for a few minutes, that is all. The Abbé Barreau. He should be at the Sainte Clotilde Presbytery.
Very well.
How long has the Abbé been with her now, Chief?
No, 25 minutes.
Do you think it's going to help?
I don't know. I feel the solution is somewhere near, but I distrust the evidence. Crime of passion has a ridiculous sound. Now we're faced on this case with people whose very existence I never suspected. Their way of life is so unfamiliar to me that I can't...
Will you come in now, Chief Inspector? I must apologize for keeping you so long, but Mademoiselle Larrieux has asked me a very difficult question, and I've had to consider it most carefully.
Yes, not at all, you look tired, mademoiselle.
May I stay? I may be able to help.
Yes, of course.
Mademoiselle, as you are aware, is extremely devout, and it is her piety which has led her to adopt an attitude which I have felt it my duty to persuade her to abandon. What has been worrying her is the thought that the Count might not be given a Christian burial. She intended to wait until after the funeral before saying anything.
The Count committed suicide.
I'm afraid that is the truth of the matter. But I have told Mademoiselle Larrieux we have no proof that he didn't repent in his last few moments. No death is as instantaneous in the eyes of the Church as your medical files might suggest. Tell the Chief Inspector what you told me, Mademoiselle.
I was in bed when I heard a single shot. I rushed into the study. Armand, the Count was sprawled on the carpet as you found him. The pistol was on his desk. There was no doubt that he was... My first impulse was to telephone the Princess, but it was nearly midnight. I didn't want to disturb her.
How long before you used the pistol yourself?
I don't know. 10 minutes, perhaps. I knelt down beside him, and I said a prayer. I couldn't let it be known that he had... I had to make it look like murder. So I stood up, took hold of the pistol, and I fired without looking, and asked him and him to forgive me. I pulled the trigger until it wouldn't work anymore. I don't know anything about guns. The next morning, before I went to the Foreign Office, I threw the gun and
the cartridge cases
into the Seine from the Pont de la Concorde.
Do you know why the Count committed suicide?
He believed he had cancer of the stomach.
And he was a very healthy man, according to the police report.
I spoke to his doctor once, and he seemed unworried. A little too much wine, he suggested, a touch of indigestion. Nothing more serious. But I know that the Count didn't believe him because he consulted several other doctors.
For confirmation of his fears?
I suppose so. An old friend of his died of cancer after 2 years' illness. I remember him saying then, why don't they let him die? If I were in his place, I should ask them to help me go. He was obsessed by the idea that he was suffering in the same way, so that when he heard of the prince's death...
I'm beginning to understand. The Count expected to be bedridden, like his friend, just when there was the possibility of his entering into a real life, no matter how short, with the woman he'd loved for 50 years. He could see no future for her except as a sick nurse, and that he could not accept. Well, I must make a phone call, mademoiselle, and then I think you'll be free to go.
Armand will be given a Christian burial.
I don't believe the Church will refuse its last blessing to the Count de Saint-Hilaire. It's a case I'll never forget, you know. It's a long time ago now, and I've had time to think about it.
Yes?
So much of what I've had to do is sordid, harsh, disturbing.
But that time...
That time...
Jules Maigret, a series of plays based on the novels of Georges Simenon. With Maurice Denham as Jules Maigret and Michael Gough as Georges Simenon.
Oh, really?
My dear Jules, what is it?
Now read that, Georges. Just read it.
Latest positions in the Tour de France.
What?
After the first stage of the race, the Belgian
No,
cyclists...
not that. The report of the killing at the Porte d'Orléans. They got everything wrong. The name of the victim, the name of the street, even the name of the police inspector in charge of the case.
You don't like crime reporters?
Oh, bad ones, no. The good ones, yeah. Rougeant, now.
Rougeant, yes. Yes.
There was a man worth his salt. Never printed anything unless he was certain of his facts. Or thought he was.
Are you thinking of any particular case when you say that, Jules?
You know exactly what case I'm thinking of, George.
Maigret sets a trap.
He was the reporter who scooped the story of the Montmartre killing.
Yes, and deserved to. It was a sweltering hot August, if you remember, and most of the reporters preferred to stay in the Brasserie Dauphine rather than hang around the Quai des Orfèvres. But Rougeant thought he was onto something, and stuck at it, sitting outside my office, sweating like a pig, with nothing to drink except lukewarm water from the tap down the corridor. But at least he was there when Lapointe came to see me.
When he brought in...
Suspect number one. With Lapointe's jacket over his head to hide him from anyone who might be curious. Well, that was about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Rougeant was straight onto him.
Who is he, Inspector?
I'm sorry, I'm not at liberty to say.
Oh, come off it, Lapointe. Where does he come from? Where did you pick him up?
It's far too hot to be bothered with your questions, Rougeant. Ask Chief Inspector Maigret.
Ah, so that's where you're taking him. Thank you. Is he a suspect?
As I said before, I don't know.
How many murders have there been in Montmartre?
Oh, 5 over the course of 6 months. All women, all stabbed to death. All of them had their clothes torn methodically. All of them had superficial lacerations.
Nothing stolen?
No. Well, it must have been about 11 o'clock at night when I finally sent poor Lapointe and the other chap, still with Lapointe's coat over his head, off in a car. But when I left the office, there was Rougeant, still waiting, still sweating, refusing to let up while he thought there was a story around.
Ah, evening, Chief Inspector.
Are you still here, Rougeant?
Who was it?
Who?
The chap with Lapointe.
Sorry, I can't help you. Try again tomorrow. It may be cooler then.
Will you make a statement tomorrow?
I don't know.
Has he got something to do with the Montmartre killings?
No. Sorry. No step.
Thank you, Chief Inspector. Good night.
And what did he print?
Killer caught at last. Is this the Montmartre maniac?
And of course it wasn't.
No. He was a delightful fellow called Maigret. I needed a man whose description would be as unimpressive as possible and whose face wouldn't be known to the public or the press. I was setting a trap for the real killer, and I needed bait.
What gave you the idea in the first place?
Well, the previous evening, Madame Maigret and I had been out to dinner with Raoul Pardon and his wife. And afterwards, I was talking with a fellow guest, Professor Tissot, who was the director of the mental hospital in the Rue Cabanis.
Ah, yes.
He was a very interesting, intelligent man.
Doesn't your responsibility frighten you sometimes, Chief Inspector?
You're referring to the Montmartre killings?
Yes. I wouldn't like to be in your place, with the public getting panic-stricken, newspapers doing nothing to reassure them. And high-placed persons with their own ideas of what you ought to do, all cancelling each other out? That is the correct picture, I take it.
Yes, it is.
What makes you think they're all the work of one man?
Well, when there's a series of crimes, as on this occasion, the first thing we do is to look for what they have in common.
Such as?
Well, the time, for one thing. Now, in this case, the first attack took place at 8 o'clock in the evening, and it was February, so it was dark by then. Now, the crime on March the 3rd was committed a quarter of an hour later, and so on, until the last one in July, which took place a few minutes before 10 o'clock. Now, obviously, the murderer waits for darkness and then attacks.
What about the dates?
Ah, well, I've gone over them time and time again. First of all, people talked about the full moon.
Oh, they always blame the moon when they can't think of anything else.
Do you?
As a doctor? No.
As a man?
I don't know.
In any case, only one of the attacks took place when the moon was full. And there were no other common factors, not on any particular day of the week, nor during any particular part of the month. So we looked for something else, and the first constant that we hit upon was the district, Montmartre. Now, the murderer obviously knows that area well, and that's why everybody thinks he lives there. And that means everybody is suspicious of their neighbours. We've received hundreds of letters describing the strange behaviour of perfectly normal people.
You said the district was the first constant.
Yes, because the women all lived in Montmartre. They came from different parts of the country, and from the occupational point of view, there was no resemblance between them either. Prostitute, midwife, dressmaker, post office clerk, and a housewife.
But they all lived in the district?
Yes, but it's unlikely they knew one another. More than probably they'd never met. We checked to make sure they didn't all attend the same church, go to the same butcher, have the same doctor or dentist.
No constant?
None. So I looked at their photographs. You've seen them in the papers?
Yes.
Well, something suddenly struck me. Now, if you don't look at the women's faces, just their figures, you'll notice all 5 were shortish, rather plump, thick waists, broad hips. Well, it could be a coincidence, but I think it's unlikely.
Well, you can't very well put a guard on every short, plump girl in Paris.
Quite. Well, anyway, that's as far as we've got at present. You know the question that worries me most, Professor? This man is no longer a child. He must have lived for quite a number of years, 20, 30 or more, without ever committing a crime. Yet, in the course of the past 6 months, he's killed 5 people. Now, how did it all begin? Why did he suddenly change from a harmless citizen into a dangerous maniac?
You know, Monsieur Maigret, a lot of lunatics or semi-lunatics are sent to me after they've committed crimes, and in nearly all of them I found a conscious or unconscious desire to assert themselves. Well, nearly all of them, rightly or wrongly, had for a long time been regarded in their own circle as unstable, second-rate, mentally retarded, and felt humiliation as a result. I'm convinced that the majority of crimes, which are said to have no motive, and repeated crimes in particular, are a manifestation of inadequacy, if you like.
Oh, yes. Yes, that fits in with something I've noticed over the years.
No?
Well, if criminals didn't sooner or later feel the need to boast of what they'd done, there wouldn't be nearly so many of them in prison.
It's a form of vanity, isn't it? Huh? No, I don't mean to say they give themselves away on purpose, but nearly always, as one crime follows another, they take fewer precautions, as though they were defying the police, defying fate.
Right. Some have admitted it came as a relief to them when they were finally arrested.
Yes.
Tell me, Professor Tissot, what would happen if someone else were arrested and took the place of our killer? As it were, usurping what he regards as his fame.
Well, your killer would have a feeling of frustration.
And might kill again?
Almost certainly.
Professor, you've given me an idea. The man's pride in the crimes he has committed may be our best chance of catching him.
Inspector's room, Lucas speaking. Yes, that's right. What division are you from? Ah, yes. You're to cover the Rue Colincourt from the Place Clichy to the metro station. Dress as inconspicuously as possible and carry a gun. You've met the policewomen who are acting as decoys in that area? Good. Good. Well, just remember, they're to be protected at all costs. You're on duty from 8 o'clock, but we're not expecting anything before dark. Good luck. Well, that's the last of them.
How many does that make?
174 plainclothes officers, 20 short, fat policewomen acting as decoys. God knows how many were standing by, and all on the off chance that our pet murderer might decide to have another go tonight.
Yeah.
So, now it's over to you, Janvier. I shall just sit here as befits an officer of my age and position, while you and the rest of the youngsters dash up and down Montmartre trying to look like civilians. Let's hope you catch him.
You sound doubtful.
Never count your chickens, Lapointe. Where's Yorby?
Oh, I'm with the chief inspector in a patrol car.
No, teacher's pet.
Now look, Janvier.
All right. Still don't see how the chief can be sure this man will attack one of the policewomen, or that he'll attack anyone at all.
Well, his theory is that now all the papers have said we've caught the murderer, the real chap will be so furious he'll kill someone else, just to prove he's still on the loose. Well, it's a long shot, but it just might work.
Pretty risky long shot. What happens if the man succeeds?
Right, come on, Lapointe. Let's get started. Off you go, Janvier, and good luck. Got your gun?
Yes, sir.
Look out for the shop, Lucas. Lapointe.
Okay, Chief.
Good luck, Chief.
What's the time, Lapointe?
It's 10:30, sir.
I'm still as hot as ever. So far, nothing. Back to the Place du Tertre, driver, and then follow the same route again.
Very good, sir.
And when we get up there, Lapointe, go into one of the cafes and telephone Lucas. See if he has anything to report.
Right, sir.
Lucas. No, Lapointe, nothing at all. Just a prostitute complaining a foreign sailor had knocked her about. From the sound of her voice, I don't blame him. Oh, tell the chief that reporter's still here. Yes, Rougeon. I think I'll move a bed in and charge him rent. Good hunting.
What's the time now, driver?
4 minutes to 11, sir.
He's probably not even in Paris. Probably on holiday. By the sea. Brittany. Cooler than it is here. Why did I start all this? No reason, just intuition. And talking to Professor Tissot. And conceit. So sure I was right. So many people risking their lives. And the man with a knife. 11 o'clock. It's been dark for practically an hour. Nothing will happen. Just as well, perhaps.
Well, there's no news, sir.
Thank you, Lapointe. Off we go, driver.
Same route, sir?
Yeah. No, wait. Switch that engine off. Where's that coming from?
Far side of the square. Down towards the Avenue Junot.
Step on it, driver.
Right, sir.
Stand back there, stand back. Now, you're the one who was attacked?
Yes, Chief Inspector.
Name?
Policeman Jusserand.
Ah, at least it was one of us. Are you hurt?
No, sir, I'm all right. I'm just a bit shaken, that's all.
What happened?
Well, he came at me and I just couldn't hold him, I'm sorry.
Oh, it doesn't matter. They'll catch him. He can't get far.
I've got this, sir.
Oh, what is it?
It's a button. I must have torn it off his coat when I was struggling with him.
Something. Now, I want you to give me as accurate a description of the man as you can.
Well, it was so quick, and as you can see, it's pretty dark.
Yeah, but do the best you can. Lapointe.
Yes, Chief.
Listen carefully to this policewoman's description of the man and get it circulated as quickly as possible to everyone in the area.
Yes, sir.
And then, policewoman Jousseron, I'll take you back in my car to the Quai des Orfèvres. Maigret.
Janvier here, sir.
Yeah?
The chase is still going on. They've surrounded a good part of the district. I'm in a cafe on the Place Constantin Pequeur, and as I got here, I'm practically certain I saw the fellow running down the steps opposite.
Well, you weren't able to catch up with him?
No, sir. I got after him as fast as I could, but he had too much of a lead on me.
Well, why didn't you shoot?
I didn't dare, sir. There were too many people about. I might have hit one of them. But apparently, just before I got here, a man came into this cafe. He didn't stop for a drink, just made a telephone call and then went out.
Well, nothing else?
The barman said he was fair-haired, youngish, slender.
His suit?
Dark. My idea was that perhaps he rang up somebody who came with a car and picked him up. I don't think they're stopping cars with more than one person in them.
Well, then tell him to.
Right, sir.
Well, there we are, Luca. The policewoman he attacked reckons he was about 30 years old, thin, looked like a gentleman, and she remembers when she grabbed his hand there was a wedding ring on his finger. Now, Janvier's just chased and lost someone who fits that description. Apart from the button, that's the lot. Any report on that button yet?
Yes, sir, just come in. The lab says it's a good quality one, and from the piece of cloth still on it, the suit was of expensive material. Imported. Probably English. So they've given me the lists of cloth importers and button makers. Quite a few of them.
That'll give Lapointe and Janvier a nice little outing tomorrow, if we haven't caught our man before then.
So after a late night, poor Lapointe and Janvier had to trail round hundreds of cloth importers and button makers the next morning.
Well, not that many as it happened, Georges. For the first time in the case, luck was on our side. The second button maker Lapointe and Janvier visited recognized the button.
Oh, yes. This comes from Mullerbach's at Colmar.
Colmar? Do Mullerbach's have a Paris office?
In this building, as a matter of fact, 2 floors up.
Thank you.
Yeah.
What exactly did you want to know?
Did your firm make that button?
Yes. Have you a list of tailors to whom you sold buttons of that kind?
Of course. Monsieur Jean-Fils, will you look up the reference for this button and bring me the list of the tailors to whom we sold that type?
There were 28 of them, and that was only in Paris.
A sizable number.
Quite. So Lapointe and Janvier decided to split the list in half and tackle 13 apiece, each clutching a part of the cloth torn by the policewoman from her attacker's suit.
Was luck still on their side?
Well, not quite so speedily, but eventually Janvier came across a tailor who recognized the cloth.
Yes, this is one of our materials. Why, do you want a suit?
No, but I would like a list of the customers for whom you've made a suit in this material.
Well, there's only been one recently, and even that was some time ago.
How long?
It was last autumn.
You remember the customer?
Oh, yes, indeed. I made the suit for him myself.
Who was it?
Monsieur Monsin, Marcel Monsin, a very nice gentleman. I've made his clothes for several years now.
Does he live in the district?
Yes, I have the address somewhere.
Chief, Janvier here. I found him. Yes, he lives in the Boulevard Saint-Germain. I'm just opposite the house now, in a cafe called the Solferino. What, Chief? Order you a beer. Very good, sir.
Oh, thank you for the beer, Janvier.
Not at all, Chief.
And congratulations on finding him. Always supposing it isn't one of the other customers on one of the other tailor's books.
Monsin seems to be the only one in this area.
Yeah, where the murders took place.
Yeah.
Well, we'll soon know.
Yes?
Is Monsieur Monsin at home?
I don't know. If you wait a moment, I'll go and ask Madame.
What is it, oh dear?
2 gentlemen who wish to speak to Monsieur, Madame.
Yes?
Is your husband in, Madame?
Yes, but he's asleep.
I must ask you to wake him.
May I ask who you are?
Judicial Police. I'm Chief Inspector Maigret. This is Inspector Janvier.
You'd better come in.
Thank you, madame.
That will be all, Odile.
Yes, madame.
This way.
Thank you, madame. I suppose your husband came home late last night.
What do you mean?
Does he usually sleep until this hour in the afternoon?
Often. He likes to work in the evening, sometimes late into the night. He is an artist.
Then he didn't go out last night?
Not that I know of. If you'll wait here, I'll go and tell him.
Thank you, madame.
Cool. I wouldn't mind a flat like this, Chief.
Work hard at your job and never question your superior, Janvier, and who knows.
Yes, Chief.
And on the other hand, you could marry a rich woman.
I don't know any.
He'll be here in a moment. Marcel is curiously shy in some ways. I sometimes tease him about it. He hates to be seen when he's just out of bed.
You have separate rooms?
So do a lot of married couples, don't they?
Your husband works here?
Yes, his office is through there, overlooking the boulevard.
He works a lot?
Too much for his health. He's never been strong. We should have been on holiday in the mountains now. We always go at this time of the year. But he's accepted a commission that will prevent us taking any holiday at all. Ah, here he is. I will leave you gentlemen alone.
Thank you, madame.
I'm sorry to have kept you waiting, gentlemen. I was working very hard last night on an absolutely vast house a friend of mine is building on the Normandy coast. Otherwise, I would have been up to receive you.
I must apologize for being obliged to ask you some personal questions, Monsieur Monsin.
If I can be of any help.
To begin with, I should like to see the suit you were wearing yesterday.
My suit? How extraordinary. Well, if you would care to come through into my dressing room... you must excuse the rather untidy state of the room. I was working until 2 o'clock this morning. That was why I was asleep when you arrived. The maid hasn't had a chance to clear up as yet.
No, please don't worry, monsieur.
Now, Chief Inspector, that is my entire wardrobe. The grey suit is the one I was wearing yesterday.
I see. Have you got that bit of cloth, Janvier?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Now, last autumn your tailor made you a suit in this material. Do you remember it?
Yes, indeed.
What has become of it?
Someone standing on a bus platform burnt the lapel with a cigarette.
You had it mended?
No. I gave it away. I hate anything that's not perfect. Always have. Even as a child. I took it out with me one evening when I was going for a walk by the Seine and gave it to a tramp.
Was this long ago?
The evening before last.
I see. Have you been married long, Monsieur Monsin?
12 years. I got married when I was 20.
You're an architect?
Architect-decorator.
That means, I suppose, that you're an architect who specializes in interior decorating.
Not exactly.
Do you mind explaining?
I'm not allowed to draw up the plans of a building because I haven't actually a degree in architecture.
And you don't need a degree to become a decorator.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a great many clients?
I prefer having a few clients who trust me and give me a free hand, rather than a great many who would demand concessions.
You were born in Paris?
Yes.
Whereabouts?
At the corner of the Rue Colincourt and the Rue de Maistre.
In Montmartre? Did you live there long?
Until I got married.
Are your parents both alive?
My mother only.
You're on good terms with her?
My mother and I have always got on well.
What was your father's occupation?
He was a butcher.
In Montmartre?
At the address I gave you.
And he died?
When I was 14.
And your mother sold the business, eh?
She put a manager in for a time and then sold the shop, but kept the rest of the house. She has a flat on the 4th floor.
Monsieur Monsin, I'm afraid I have to ask you to accompany my inspector here to the Quai des Orfèvres.
Is that necessary?
I'm afraid so. Janvier?
Sir?
I'll be back there as soon as I've had a word with Monsieur Monsin's mother.
Right, Chief.
Now, Chief Inspector, what exactly do you want with me?
You saw your son yesterday evening, madame.
What have the police to do with my son?
Please be good enough to answer my questions.
Why should I have seen him?
I imagine he does visit you now and then?
Often.
With his wife?
I fail to see what that has to do with you.
No, did your son come here yesterday evening?
No.
Nor during the night?
He is not in the habit of coming to see me at night. Are you or are you not going to explain the meaning of these questions? I warn you, I shall answer no more of them. I am in my own home, and I can remain silent if I choose.
Madame Monsin, I regret to inform you that your son is suspected of having committed 5 murders in the past few months.
What did you say?
We have good reason to believe that the 5 murders committed here in Montmartre were his work.
How dare you?
Your son has not been here within the last 24 hours.
No.
When did you last see him?
I don't know.
You don't remember his visit?
No.
Tell me, madame, when he got married, was it with your approval?
Yes. I was fool enough to...
To arrange the marriage?
Oh, what does it matter now?
You're no longer on good terms with your daughter-in-law.
What has it to do with you? That concerns my son's private life, which is nobody else's business, neither mine nor yours. Have you arrested Marcel?
He's in my office at the Quai des Orfèvres.
I want to see him.
Of course, Madame Monsin. Monsieur Monsin, you have a visitor.
Don't be frightened, Marcel. I'm here.
Mamma, they shouldn't have brought you here.
Oh, they didn't. I chose to come. What are they doing to you?
Just asking questions, Mamma.
They're mad. I tell you, they're mad. But I shall get the best lawyer in Paris. I don't care how much he wants. I'll spend my last penny if necessary. I'll sell the house, beg on the streets.
Mamma.
Yvonne knows you're here?
She knows, Mamma.
Then where is she? What did she say?
So if you'll please sit down, madame.
I don't want to sit down. What I want is to have my son back. Come, Marcel. We'll soon see if they dare to keep you.
I'm sorry, madame.
So, you're arresting him?
I'm keeping him at the disposal of the law. Now, will you be good enough to sit down and answer a few questions?
I shall answer nothing. Don't be afraid, Marcel. I shall take care of you.
Your mother seems to be very fond of you.
I'm all she has left.
Come in. Yes, Janvier?
Sorry, sir, I didn't realize you had someone with you.
Oh, that's all right. Call Lapointe.
Lapointe?
Yes?
The chief wants you. Yes, chief?
Take Monsieur Monsin to the cells. See that he's comfortable and has anything he wants.
Right. This way, monsieur.
Thank you.
Now, young Janvier.
We found that fellow's suit, chief.
Huh?
Or at least the jacket.
Where?
We picked up a tramp who was wearing it down by the Seine near the Pont d'Austerlitz. Says he found it on the river bank.
When?
This morning at 6 o'clock.
And the trousers?
They were there too, but he was with the pal. They divided the suit between them. We've not got the one with the trousers yet, but it won't take long.
Is there a cigarette burn on the lapel?
Yes, but I took it up to the lab, and Moët says that burn isn't more than 12 hours old.
So, Monsin's story about it happening on a bus a couple of days ago is a lie. Ring Madame Maigret and tell her I'll be in for dinner tonight.
Right, Chief.
I'm just going to call in on Monsin's wife.
Haven't you brought him back?
No.
You really believe it was Marcel, don't you? One day you'll see you were mistaken, then you'll be sorry for the harm you're doing him.
You love him?
He's my husband. Have you arrested him?
Not yet. We're going to question him again tomorrow.
What does he say?
He refuses to answer. And you're sure you have nothing to tell me, Madame Monsin?
Nothing.
You realize, don't you, that even if your husband is guilty, as I have every reason to suppose, he will neither go to the guillotine nor to hard labor? I have no doubt the doctors will say he's not responsible for his actions. But 5 women have died so far. As long as the killer, the maniac, call him what you like, remains at liberty, other lives are in danger. Perhaps tomorrow he may begin to attack the people around him. Aren't you afraid?
No. You see, you believe he's guilty. I know he's innocent.
Is that you, Chief?
Who's speaking?
Lapointe, sir.
Hmm?
I'm sorry to disturb you.
Yeah, I'm sorry, too. I was fast asleep. What's the time?
12:30, sir.
Oh, good Lord. Where are you?
In the Rue de Mestre. There's just been another killing.
What?
A woman. Stabbed several times. Her dress slashed.
When did it happen?
About 3/4 of an hour ago.
I'll be there.
So, another killing.
Yes, and in a way, it was my fault. This time it couldn't have been Monsin, because he was safely tucked up in the cell.
And as usual, no one saw the crime being committed.
No one. But I had my own ideas about who might have done it. But it shouldn't have happened. Anyway, I made certain arrangements and was in early at the Quai des Orfèvres the next morning. Are they here?
Yes, Chief.
We put them both in the interrogation room.
Did the sparks fly?
They just took one look at each other, sat down and shut up.
What are we to do now, sir?
Oh, for the moment, nothing. You go and sit in the next door office, Janvier, near the communicating door. If they decide to talk, try to hear what they say.
Right, Chief.
And Luca, Chief, have some of these newspapers taken into the two women. Let's put them on the desk, but make sure that from where they're sitting, they can both see the headlines about last night's murder.
Right.
Lapointe?
Chief?
Where's Monsin?
I put him in your office, as you told me.
Oh, good. Now, don't disturb us.
No, I thought this came.
Good morning, Monsieur Monsin. You've been informed of what happened last night?
No one's told me a word.
Then you'd better read this. As you can see, someone is doing their utmost to save you. It's a pity it's cost another innocent girl her life. Your mother and your wife are here. They'll be brought in presently, and you can have it out among yourselves. Nothing to say?
Nothing.
Don't you think it's about time you put a stop to all this? Don't you think this makes at least one crime too many? If you talked yesterday, this one would never have been committed.
It was nothing to do with me.
Oh, yes, it was. It was everything to do with you. Which of them did it?
I don't know what you mean.
I've looked through all those photographs of you your mother has piously preserved in her flat. Dozens of you, hundreds, but none of your father. I don't even know what he looked like. He was a tradesman, wasn't he? A butcher. I suppose your mother was ashamed of him. Were you? How old did you say you were when he died?
14.
And after that, Mother took over. Didn't you ever have a desire to rebel against all the fussing and mollycoddling? No, I suppose not. You didn't rebel because you're lazy and vain. Some people are born with a title, money, servants. You were born with a mother that took the place of all that. Whatever might happen to you, Mother was there, and you knew it. You could do whatever you chose, and the only price you had to pay was obedience. You belonged to your mother. You were her property. You weren't allowed to grow up into a proper man. Why did she marry you off at the age of 20? For fear you'd begin having love affairs?
I have nothing to say.
Have you ever had anything to say off your own bat, I mean? I don't imagine you married because you were in love. You're too self-centered for that. You married for the sake of peace, and perhaps to get away from your mother's influence. And then your wife turned out to be as possessive as your mother. Why didn't you rebel against her? Both of them were preventing you from being a man. Oh, I'm going to send down for a beer. Do you want one?
I don't drink.
Oh, of course not. How many times have you wanted to kill them? I don't mean the poor girls you've been attacking in the street. I mean your mother and your wife. You were the prisoner of them both, weren't you? They fed you, looked after you, spoiled you, but at the same time they owned you. You were their creature, their property, something they fought over. So, How could you assert yourself? Not in your profession. You were an amateur. No one took you seriously, that's clear enough. So how were you to assert yourself? You had to do something outstanding, something everybody would talk about, something to make you feel superior to the common herd. You couldn't kill the two of them, although I imagine you'd have liked to, because that would have been too dangerous. The search would automatically have led to you, and in any case there would have been no one left to back you up, flatter you, encourage you. But it was them, the domineering females, you resented. So it was females you turned on, in the street, in the dark, and then tore their clothes afterwards to prove what a man you were. You didn't rape them, of course. You weren't man enough for that. Lucas, send down for a beer, will you?
Very good, Chief. One or two.
Just one. You know, Monsieur, I shall remember you all my life. Never before in the whole of my career has a case bothered me so much. When you were arrested yesterday, neither of those women thought you were innocent, and one of them decided to save you. If it was your mother, she had only a few steps to go to get to the Rue de Maistre. If it was your wife, it means that, on the assumption that we would release you, she was prepared to spend the rest of her life married to a killer. It could be either of them. The one who committed the murder knows what she did. The one who is innocent knows that the other is not. I wonder if she doesn't feel a certain jealousy. For years they've been competing to prove which of them loved you most, which of them possessed you most completely. And how could either of them possess you more completely than by saving your neck? Come in.
Here's your beer, Chief.
Oh, you'll drink it, Lucas. I'm going out for a breath of fresh air. When I get back, tell Janvier to bring the two women in here. You'll be glad to see them, won't you, Monsieur? You've been away from them both for a whole day. I don't know how you managed.
Chief.
Come in, mesdames. Please sit down. Shut the door, Janvier. Don't go. I shall need you to take notes.
Right, Chief.
Please. Now, I'm not going to try and deceive you into thinking the Monsieur has confessed.
Well, how could he? He is innocent.
No, madame. Whether he confesses or not, he has committed 5 murders, and you know it. Both of you. Because you know his weaknesses better than anyone. Sooner or later, it will be proved. Sooner or later, he'll end up in prison or in an asylum.
Never.
One of you took it into her head that by committing another murder, she could avert suspicion from him. All that remains for me to do is to find out which of you, last night, stabbed a certain Jeannie Laurent to death at the corner of the Rue de Maistre.
You have no right to question us without a lawyer being present. It is our right to have legal advice.
Now, kindly sit down, madame, unless you have a confession to make.
How dare you? You're behaving like a boor, which is what you are, a boor.
Please, Mamma.
Now, if you continue to make a scene, madame, I shall have you taken away by an inspector who will question you while I deal with your son and daughter-in-law. Thank you. I'm convinced that not only did one of you hope to save Montmartre by committing a crime similar to his while he was in custody, but that also one of you had known for a long while what was going on. The time this latest murder was committed, the stabbing, the slashing of the clothes, all that was identical with the other crimes. But there was one difference. The girl who was killed at the corner of the Rue de Maistre was tall, slim, totally unlike the other victims. Did neither of you notice that every woman Montmartre struck down was short, plump, similar to yourselves, mesdames? Or were you unwilling to admit that every time he killed, he was in his mind killing one of you, trying to assert his right to some sort of freedom, some existence apart from you? Do you still think it was worth either of you risking your necks to save such a man? Although I suppose you'd regard it as preserving what you consider to be your property.
I am perfectly willing to die for my son. He is my child. It doesn't matter to me what he has done. And it doesn't matter to me what becomes of the little tarts who walk the streets of Montmartre at night.
You killed Jeannie Laurent?
I do not know her name.
You are responsible for the murder committed in the Rue de Metz last night?
Yes.
In that case, can you tell me the colour of the victim's dress?
It was too dark to see.
She was killed less than 5 yards from a street lamp.
I didn't pay attention.
But when you slashed the material? The colour, madame?
The dress was blue.
Oh.
Yes, your daughter-in-law is right, madame. Yes, it was blue. Yvonne Monsin, you admit to the murder of Jeannie Laurent?
Yes.
You finish it, Janvier. You know what to do.
Right, Chief.
I'm tired. I'm going home.
Wouldn't you prefer to use the other door, sir? That reporter's still out there waiting for you in the corridor.
No, that's all right, Janvier. Rougeon. Rougeon, wake up.
What? Oh, I'm sorry. I must have dropped off.
Yes, I think you must.
I didn't get much sleep last night.
No, this corridor isn't the most comfortable of places.
Any statement, Chief Inspector?
Oh, why not? Let's go down to the Brasserie Dauphine, Rougeon. The chairs are softer, the beer's cold, and I can tell you all about it in comfort.
And that was how Rougeon scooped the story.
Yes, I should have waited, of course, given an official release to all the papers at the same time, but after all, Rougeon was there, and I was tired.
I'm not surprised.
I don't think I've ever been so tired. After I talked to him, I went home, lay down on the bed, and slept. Woke about 6 that evening, and took my wife to the picture.
To escape? Relax?
In a way. I just felt I wanted to rub shoulders with a few human beings again. Convince myself there were 1 or 2 still left.
Simenon's Maigret, a series of plays based on the novels of Georges Simenon. With Maurice Denham as Jules Maigret and Michael Gough as Georges Simenon.
Look, what is it? Guilty?
Well, I feel guilty, Georges. Very guilty. Although what the hell about, I don't know.
Something on the conscience? Or the liver?
I had plenty on my conscience. And as for my liver... Now, all it is that I've been talking to a friend of my wife's who was a woman with a perpetual hard-done-by aura around her. You know the sort.
Who doesn't?
She reminded me of Longyon.
Yes, of course. Inspector Longyon of the 2nd Paris District.
The very essence of the hard-done-by.
Oh, yes, I remember him. Thin and hatchet-faced. Poor Longyon.
Good policeman, you know, for all that. Wonderfully thorough.
Maigret and the young girl.
Didn't you have one particular case where you and Longyon followed one another around?
Oh, that happened more than once. But I think I know the case you mean. That poor young girl, found in Longyon's district, on the pavement of the Place Vintimille, at 3 o'clock on a March morning.
This is the Place Blanche. The Place Vintimille is the first on the right, Chief.
Good. I should be in bed. Do you know that, young Janvier?
Yes, Chief.
Oh, so should you.
Ah.
There they are. Oh, Lord. Of course.
Chief?
Inspector Lorient. It's his patch. There he is, looking as happy as ever.
Shall I drive on?
No, he's seen us. Was expecting us, probably. Have to face it. Good morning, Inspector Lorient.
Good morning, Chief Inspector. Did they ring you at home?
No, I was still at the Quai des Affaires when the call came through. Just thought I'd take a look.
Oh, there she is. Very dead. Found about 10 minutes ago.
Who is she?
No handbag, no papers.
One shoe's missing. Have you come across it?
No, and she had no coat.
An evening dress, isn't it? Bring the light nearer, will you? Good. She's pathetic. Poor kid. Poor little girl. Janvier.
Yes, Chief?
Get the photographer along, will you? The sooner we've a picture of her, the better.
Right, Chief.
Well, I'd say she wasn't killed here.
You're probably right, Lorient. It's a funny place to dump a body, isn't it?
Oh, it's quiet here. I'd say she came by car.
Yeah, but a body would soon be found. If there was a car, why not put her in the river, find some waste ground, hide her?
I've no idea.
Oh. She breaks my heart, you know that? She's got the face of a sulky child. Do you know her?
Well, if she's one of the street girls, she's very new. I know pretty well all of them, but I've not seen her.
Well, we must find out who she is. I shall need your help.
Yeah, I thought you'd be taking the case over. Mind you, I'm not complaining. I'm pretty well used to it.
Look, I'll still need your help, and it's your patch.
All right, if you say.
Good. You'd better start by asking questions. Are the clubs still open?
Most are. They don't close in general until about 4. And I'll be on my way.
All right.
Good morning, Inspector Lorient.
Good morning, Inspector Janvier.
The doctor's just arrived. The photographer's on his way, Chief.
Good. I'm going to find some food. Meet me at the morgue at, say, 4:30. Our good Dr. Paul should have something for us by then.
She was between 19 and 22 years old, in good health, but I'd say rather undernourished.
Was she a street girl, would you say, Doctor?
Oh, not this one, no. She'd never been to bed with anyone.
How did she die?
Fracture of the skull. She was struck 3 violent blows by something heavy, a tool or a cosh, and before she was hit, she was slapped on the face quite hard a number of times. I think she fell on her knees first and tried to cling to someone.
So she wasn't attacked from behind?
Oh, no.
What do her hands tell you?
Her hands? Oh, yes. I don't think she'd ever done any real work. No typing or dressmaking or working in a factory, and she'd done very little housework to speak of.
I see. Oh, you'll let me have your report later today, will you?
Of course, Maigret. But one thing you may like to know now. She had her last meal at about 7 last night. She died around 2 this morning, and sometime just before her death, she consumed a good deal of alcohol. Enough to leave her fairly unsober, I'd say.
So, we have a dead, drunken virgin on our hands.
Perhaps she'd been to a party, Chief.
Yes, quite likely she had. Well, thanks, Dr. Paul.
Thank you, Maigret. I'll find out what it was she drank and put it in my report.
Right. Well, young Janvier, what do her clothes tell us?
Something, Chief. The dress has a tag on it.
Huh?
Irene, 35, Rue de Douai. Just round the corner from the Place Vintimille.
Well, that's something indeed. Oh, it'll soon be dawn. I'm going to get some sleep. You too. A photograph will appear in the second edition. Somebody will recognize her, I hope. I'll get hold of Lorient and visit Irene's in the afternoon.
This is the shop, Chief Inspector.
Not exactly haute couture, is it? Irene, model gown.
She hires gowns out as well as selling.
You probably know Lorient. Who is she?
Elisabeth Kumar.
Ah, there's not much you don't know about this area, is there?
I didn't know the dead girl.
Oh, who did? I take it nobody knew her in the club.
I would have told you if they had.
Yes.
I shall go round them again before they close tonight with a picture of the girl this time.
That's the stuff. So, let's have a word with Madame Maigret. Did you get some sleep?
Not much. The wife's unwell, as usual.
Madame Maigret?
She's Mamselle. Who are you?
Chief Inspector Maigret.
Are you? I know who you are, misery guts.
Shut up, you young cow. Where's Mademoiselle Kumar?
Where'd you think after lunch?
Well, go and wake her up. It's important.
She won't like it.
Nice girl.
Yeah, she's her usual sort. Kumar calls them protégés. Saves them from the streets, I suppose.
Did you see the pictures of the dead girl in the morning papers?
Yeah, we've got one here. It's very recognisable, even with the bruises. Somebody will know her.
Ah, she's awake.
Drinks like a fish.
Yes, our dead girl had been drinking. Rum, Dr. Paul reckons. Why, I wonder? And who would want to kill such a child? Why?
I never think of it. What good does it do?
Very little usually, I know, but this girl... To know who she was...
What are you after this time?
This is Chief Inspector Maigret.
I've heard of him. What's he doing with you?
Inspector Longyon has a dress of yours.
This one. Hired out, I'd say.
Yes, I hired it out last night. I don't know her name, but I got a coat and dress because she had no money for the deposit. Vivian, my pet, get her clothes.
Now, what time was this, mademoiselle?
About 9. You're a fine figure of a man, aren't you? About 9. We don't close till 10. 8 till 10's our busiest time. Surprising number of girls suddenly find they need a dress for the night then.
Here's her old things. Coat, homemade dress, handbag.
Give me the handbag.
Beside the dress, what else did you hire, mademoiselle?
Oh, do you hear how polite he is, old Longyon? A velvet cape and a little silver evening bag with a chain to it.
Yeah, well, there's only a pencil and a pair of gloves in this
Well,
one.
naturally, she transferred things to the evening bag. What's happened to the cape and the bag?
They've gone missing.
The girl who hired them was killed early this morning.
Oh, silly girl getting killed.
Yeah. Have a look at her picture.
You've no idea who she was?
Oh, that's her.
She got bashed up.
Oh, I never knew who she was, but I remembered her, though, when she came in last night. So did Vivian, didn't you?
The stuck-up thing she was, like when she come in about a month ago for a dress. She hired that one then.
Oh, she came in the evening that time, too. She had some money and paid the deposit and brought it back the next day.
Now, last night, mademoiselle, did she ask for that particular dress?
She did. Oh, lucky I had it in. She changed here and left soon after 9. I watched her go down the street. Funny sort of girl.
Was she nervous, excited, anything?
Oh, she was like a girl in desperate need of a dress.
You mean it was important to her?
I mean, monsieur, it's always important to them.
They're all the same. They must have a dress pronto or they'll die.
She did. Come in. Good morning, Janvier. Anything?
Morning, Chief. Nothing. Not a sausage.
Oh, somebody must have known her. Must have lived somewhere. Well, she hired an evening dress. She must have gone somewhere in it. Pictures of her, descriptions of her, have now appeared in, how many? 5 morning papers yesterday and 6 this morning. Seen by millions, if we can believe the circulation figures. Well, God, she's been dead for over 24 hours. Somebody must have missed her.
Chief.
Go on.
I was thinking, if she was so hard up that she couldn't afford the deposit, even for a tatty old evening dress, she must have needed it to hire it for something really important, if you see what I mean.
Something important like borrowing money?
Yes, that makes sense.
Yes, on the other hand, I asked Madame Maigret last night why a girl would behave like our girl. Now, she said that a woman can have a sudden desire to dress up without a serious reason.
Like small girls do.
That's it.
Our girl, did she look that type to you, Chief?
No, she was a lost little creature. I have to try to know her, Janvier, and then I shall know how and why she died. Maigret.
I've something to tell you about the girl who's been murdered.
Have you? Good. What's your name?
I'm Rose.
Well, where, Rose?
113 Rue de Clichy,
Hmm?
on the second floor, with old Madame Crémieux, who won't help you.
But,
Goodbye.
what? Well, come on, Janvier, we've got a lead at last. The Rue de Clichy and Madame Crémieux. Madame Crémieux, you do recognize the girl, don't you?
Oh, yes, that's her, all right.
And she was your lodger since when?
Monsieur, she was not my lodger. She was a girl to whom I gave a room.
Gave a room to?
She paid me something, of course. Oh, what's the use? You just sit there without any expression. You know perfectly well, monsieur, if I take a person in as a lodger, the Inland Revenue people want to know about it, so I call them friends. And they pay something.
What goes on between the Inland Revenue and yourself has nothing to do with me, madame. Now, tell me about the girl. Her name?
Louise Laboine was the name she gave me, but I never saw her identity card. She answered my discreet notice in the newsagent's shop in January. She seemed a nice, well-bred, quiet girl, so I said, do come and stay.
Did you know where she worked?
Worked? I have no idea. She never said. She never said anything, as I soon found out, monsieur. And she was the most unsociable, unfriendly girl you could ever come across. Small wonder she seemed to have no friends. Work. At first she left at 8:30 in the morning. Then after a few weeks it was 9. Sometimes she'd stay in bed all morning. I asked her if she changed her job, but she wouldn't say.
Wouldn't say? What did she say?
She said nothing. That was her way. When she didn't want to answer a question, she would pretend not to have heard it and only look at one blankly and turn away. It was infuriating.
Here's Rose, Chief.
Ah, thank you, Janvier. Come in, Rose. Madame Crémieux, this is Inspector Janvier.
You're very young for an inspector, monsieur.
Thank you, madame.
And why is Rose with you?
Rose, madame, was public-spirited enough to ring us and tell us where the dead girl lived.
She had no right to interfere. It was no business of yours, Rose.
Why not? Because you'd kicked her out? Because you didn't want anything more to do with her?
When did you kick her out, Madame Crémieux?
I asked her to leave 3 days ago. She hadn't paid.
The rent. Did she take her things with her?
As a matter of fact, she didn't. When I told her to leave as soon as possible, she said, very well. That was all. And she went out and didn't come back.
Will you take Inspector Janvier to her room, please? Janvier, put her things together.
Yes, Chief.
This way, Inspector. I'll show you what she left.
Thank you, madame.
Well, Rose, come here. Thank you for ringing us.
She wasn't going to. That's why I did. I overheard her talking to the concierge. Well, they must have been looking at the picture in the paper. And old Mother Crémieux said that was the wretched girl, all right. And she wasn't surprised she met a bad end, but she wasn't going to ring. Well, she said the police were paid well enough without people doing their work for them. Well, so I rang.
Tell me, Rose, did you know Louise well?
Oh, no. Well, she sometimes used to smile at me. I worked for a family on the first floor, see, and, well, we used to meet on the stairs, and I used to see her sitting in the gardens, and...
Was she waiting for somebody?
When nobody ever came, well, she'd get up and go, and half an hour later come back and sit down. But I never saw her with anybody. She was so pretty, like a film actress. But she always looked unhappy, as if she never laughed. Do you suppose she knew she was going to die?
No, Rose, I think it was her life that was unhappy.
It's all here in our suitcase.
What there is of it?
Excuse me, Rose.
Oh,
Here we are. 2 slips, 2 pants, pair of stockings, dressing gown, hairbrush, box of face powder, some aspirin. It's pathetic, Chief.
Yes. No letters, postcards?
Nothing.
That's all she had, except for one dress, a pair of shoes, and an old coat. And she behaved as if she was worth a fortune.
She didn't even have a nightdress.
Look, did you discover anything about her, madame? Where she came from, if she had parents still alive?
Once, when I said something about the South, she implied that she knew Nice quite well.
Nice? And you never saw her with anybody, and nobody came here?
Nobody came or telephoned. She went out some evenings, To the cinema, certainly, because I found the tickets.
Oh, thank you. We'll take her things. Janvier, when you get back to the quay, put through a call to Inspector Ferret at Nice. Get them to put the photos in their papers.
Right, Chief.
I must meet old Longyon, see what he's dug up. A glass of the dry white, Pierre.
At once, Chief Inspector. Oh, and Chief Inspector, there's someone waiting for you over in the corner.
Ah, yes, thank you. Longyon, what'll you have?
Whatever you choose, Chief Inspector.
Of course. A cognac, then, Pierre.
I'll bring them over, monsieur.
Thank you. Have you been here long?
It doesn't matter. I managed a few hours' sleep.
Out all night?
Until 5.
Tell me about it.
I did what I said I would. I went over the same ground as the night before, only more thoroughly. And this time I had the girls' pictures. Until 3 o'clock, 4 minutes past to be precise, I had no luck.
White wine for you, Chief? Cognac, monsieur?
Thank you, Pierre.
Cognac? Probably goes straight to my head.
Good. Well, here's health.
Here's hoping.
Now, 4 minutes past 3, to be precise.
Yes. Outside the Le Grelot, I spoke with a taxi driver, Léon Zirk. I showed him the photos, and he recognized her at once. On the night of her death, he was waiting opposite a new nightclub, the Romeo, in the Rue Montmartre.
And?
That night, the Romeo was the scene of a wedding party.
Ah, was it? Well, go on.
I checked on it. Came across this newspaper cutting covering the event. It tells us that one Marco Santoni, the representative in France for a brand of Italian vermouth, married Janine Armenieux of Paris 2 days ago, and the wedding party was held at Romeo's.
Santoni is not a member of the Italian mafia, I hope.
I asked records, they've no trace of him. He's a rich man of 45, a member of the smart set, who's had many mistresses, but this is his first marriage.
Right, get back to the dead girl.
I was about to. The taxi driver, Léon Zirk, saw her leave Romeo's at 12:15. He asked her if she wanted a taxi, but she ignored him.
Well, it was night. Is he sure it was her?
There's enough neon to make it like day around Romeo's. Zirk also noticed that she was wearing a shabby blue evening dress. And there's something else.
Is there?
Zirk was engaged a little later by a couple to go to the Étoile. And after he'd set them down, on his way back, much to his surprise, he saw the girl walking down the Boulevard Haussmann, going towards the Champs-Élysées. He looked at his watch. It was almost 1 o'clock.
Good work, Longyon. Now, I'm sure you checked at Romeo's.
I spoke to the doorman and the head barman, and they both recalled her well. The doorman let her in just before 12. She'd no invitation card, but said she was a friend of the bride's and looked so harmless.
And once inside?
The head barman noticed her at once. She was different from the smart set the other guests belonged to. At first, she stood by the bar watching the dancing, and then, during the interval, she caught the bride's eye and went up to her, and they talked for some minutes.
What was the atmosphere like?
Madame Santoni, it seems, was pretty reserved, cold even, and shook her head no a number of times, but she did put something into the girl's hand, something from her handbag.
Money?
The man couldn't be sure, but he thought it was. And soon after that, the girl left.
With enough money on her to be killed for it? What was Madame Santoni's maiden name?
Janine Armenieux.
Do we know anything about her?
She's no record.
We must get hold of her.
She's at present on her honeymoon in Italy.
So you've made some inquiries?
I went to Santoni's flat in the Rue de Berry this morning and spoke to his manservant. Apparently Santoni met Janine 4 or 5 months ago. She didn't belong to the circles he moved in, and the fellow never has discovered where and how his master met her. I gather she's in her early 20s, hard-headed, attractive, with a temper, and was living at the Hotel Washington before her marriage. Santoni paid for the hotel.
Did the manservant know Louise Labois?
Louise Labois?
Yeah.
The dead girl?
I'm sorry, old chap. I should have said before. No. We found where she lived, up to 3 days ago anyway, this morning. The girl recognized her picture and phoned us. She was known as Louise Labois, and it's possible she came from Nice, Janvier's chick.
And this girl who recognized her knew all about her, I suppose.
No, she never spoke to her. Nobody knew a thing about her. Now, I can only hope that your Janine Armenieux will know something. Did the manservant know Louise?
No. He was sure she'd never come to Santoni's flat.
Well, thank you, Longyon. Fine work. Another cognac.
No, thank you, Chief Inspector. I have a few more inquiries I'd like to make about Janine Armagnac, where she lived before the hotel and so on. So, if you would excuse me...
Yes. I remained there in the bar trying to understand. Do you understand, my dear Georges?
What you were trying to understand? I think so. And I've seen you before when you're concentrating in that manner.
Yeah, I know. My poor wife has suffered for years. But this girl, Louise, had somehow become very close to me. If I had a daughter, this sort of girl, why should she die?
The way she did. A girl who came to Paris, is alone in Paris, knows not a soul but Janine Santoni. And Janine, by all accounts, is a very different sort of girl from Louise.
So they probably knew each other before Paris.
Could be. Louise has no money, no prospects, no job, and nowhere to live. She was kicked out by Madame Cremieux in the morning, surfaced in the evening at Irene's, went to a wedding party at midnight, was seen walking in Paris at 1 in the morning.
And was dead by 2.
So there is an hour to fill in. And during that hour she drank quite a bit of rum.
So she went to a bar?
I can't see her walking into a bar at that time of the morning alone. Can you? Perhaps somebody was with her.
Well, according to Lognon's taxi driver, she was alone at 1. Now, perhaps she had a reason for going into a bar.
And what would that have been?
I had no idea. Well, for a couple of days, old Lognon ploughed his way through Janine's immediate past. I didn't want to get the young lady back from her honeymoon unless all else failed, but then the police at Nice turned up trumps.
So at last there was some background.
Oh, there was, of a bizarre variety. A mother. I went to Nice to see her. She was an addict. A gambling addict, hooked on the wheel. I had to interview her in the casino.
Dead, you say? Murdered? Well, I hope she didn't suffer too much. Oh, red again, and yesterday the black came up 9 times out of 10. She left home 4 years ago. I never heard from her more than a couple of times. She once sent me an address, care of a Janine, somebody or other. I never knew her. Janine? No. I used to be a dancer, you know. Holly Berger, South America, Middle East. I met her father in Istanbul. A Dutchman, Julius van Kram. Ah, look, the black for once. I might break even today after all. Yeah, later, suddenly found myself pregnant. I decided to have it. Louise was born here in Nice. 2 months after she was born, Van Kram walked out one afternoon to buy cigarettes and never came back. I never saw him again. Oh, yes. Sent me money over the years. Asked for news of Louise. I always wrote to him, post-restaurant, of course, to every city in the world. Last time I heard from him, about a year ago. Sent a large money order and wanted to know Louise's address, so I sent her the one care of Janine, whoever. He was in New York. I don't know what he did, but I'm sure it wasn't honest. Red again. You're bringing me poor luck, Monsieur Maigret.
There was your sought-for background, Jules. No wonder Louise left it as soon as she could. And no wonder it left her neurotically unsociable.
It still didn't explain anything. What she could have been murdered for and who could have murdered her.
No, but it gave you just the hint of a lead, surely.
Oh, yes, sure, she did. Julius Van Kram. He took a bit of tracing, but within 24 hours, records had a dossier on him.
Confidence trickster?
Of some notoriety. Known under 20 different names in 20 different countries. The last name had been Donnelly, and under that name he'd been sentenced to 8 years in the United States for fraud. And he died in prison 9 months before his daughter was killed.
He wrote asking for her address from prison, didn't he?
Well, he wrote during the trial or just before. I spoke to the FBI, and they told me that the proceeds of Van Kram's last fraud were never recovered. Over $100,000.
So what was your next step, Jules? A criminal connection had been discovered. and one that the girl knew nothing of, presumably. But it led nowhere.
Right. Now I had to speak to Janine Santoni, bring her back from her honeymoon. I thought she might be cross, so I sent Longyon on ahead to see her first. I myself turned up half an hour later. She was an aggressive-looking redhead with a magnificent figure and a magnificent temper to match.
Ah, so you finally condescended to make an appearance, Monsieur Maigret.
I'm sorry, Madame Santoni. I'm sure Inspector Longyon has explained.
Oh, I have explained, Chief Inspector. Madame Santoni, however...
has refused to answer any questions.
Now, why won't you answer Inspector Longyon's questions, Madame? Have you something to hide?
Of course I have. What woman hasn't?
Well, my questions were not at all personal, I can assure you, Chief Inspector. They referred entirely to her relationship with the dead girl.
I didn't answer his stupid questions because I felt that a woman of my social standing should be questioned by the leading Chief Inspector, not by a subordinate.
Social standing, yes, of course. Inspector Longyon is not strictly a subordinate of mine. He is from a different district. The district in which Louise Laboin was found dead.
Well, the man looks like a subordinate.
The Chief Inspector was only being tactful.
The Chief Inspector will become less tactful unless you both stop being ridiculous. Good. Now, Madame, how old are you? Hardly a day over 20, I'd say.
21, monsieur. And do you want the age of my grandmother?
In a moment. I shall call you Janine. It suits you. Tell me about Louise, Janine. Have you known her long?
4 years. She was 16, I was 17. We both left home. We met on the night train from Nice to Paris. We had to sit up all night, so we told each other our life stories.
In Paris, at first, you stayed with your aunt in the Rue de Chemin Vert. You left after a few months after a quarrel about a girl whom your aunt found under your bed.
So, you've seen my aunt, have you? Well, you don't want to believe all she said about me. Look, I didn't come to Paris just to work in an office or a shop, or to marry a clerk or a shop assistant.
The girl under your bed, I take it, was Louise.
Naturally. Everything connected with Louise was disaster. She lost the job she had in a shop in no time. She said the boss made a pass at her. So she was slung out of her cheap hotel. She turned up at my place and asked to stay. I hid her in my room, and when my aunt came in, she went under the bed. My aunt might have taken pity on her, but when she found Louise, being Louise, she wasn't even apologetic or anything, just coldly matter-of-fact, insolent almost.
You then took a flat in the Rue de Ponthieu.
And Louise came too. I didn't want her. Wasn't always convenient for me to have her there. She didn't seem to mind. She'd sit in the tiny kitchen for hours.
Did she find another job?
Oh, she had various jobs, none of them any good. None of them lasted more than a few weeks. Louise wasn't trained to do anything, and I honestly think she didn't want to do anything. Oh, she was pathetic, Monsieur Maigret. People said she was shy, but that wasn't the truth. She had no love for life. Perhaps that was what it was.
And how long did you stick together, Janine?
Almost 3 years, and stick is the word as far as Louise was concerned. She never paid a penny towards the rent, and, in the end we weren't on speaking terms. Then I met Marco, my husband, and I moved out and went to a hotel. So she had to leave the flat. I don't know where she went, and I didn't care.
Did you see her again before the night of the wedding?
No. But she tried to see me. My husband took me to Maxime's a lot, and that got into the gossip columns. She turned up there one evening, the head waiter told us, wearing a tatty old blue dress. Typically Louise. Asked for us, and when she was told we weren't there, just walked out without a word.
She came to your wedding party in the same dress. It was hired.
And it looked like it. She wasn't invited, of course. She looked quite awful.
Now, what did she want?
Money, of course. I tried to tell her I couldn't help her now I was married. It was different. My husband didn't want me to have anything to do with her in future.
But you gave her something, didn't you?
What I had in my bag, and I told her about the letter, which is why she left at once, I imagine.
A letter from the United States, was it?
I don't know. This one was left by a man.
I was coming to the letter, Chief Inspector.
You do dig around, don't you? Doesn't he?
He's a good detective. Go on, lawyer.
A man with an American accent spoke to the receptionist at the Hotel Washington about Louise Laboin and Janine Armenieux. He'd been trying to trace Laboin for some weeks and got to the Washington about 10 days ago. 2 days later, he came back, said he had to leave Paris, and left a letter for Laboin, care of Mademoiselle Armenieux, as she then was.
Did you give Louise the letter, Janine?
How could I? I had no idea where she was, and I didn't have it with me at my wedding.
But you do still have it.
Somewhere in the flat. Look, I was preparing for my marriage, monsieur. My husband made me open it, though. He was suspicious of it. Italian men are very jealous.
Now, what did it say?
Oh, roughly, not word for word. I have a very important message for you. I must see you as soon as possible. Ask for me, Jimmy, at Pickwick's bar in the Rue de l'Étoile. Oh, and then there was a sort of postscript. I have to leave Paris. I'm leaving the paper with a man who runs Pickwick's, Albert. He'll ask you to prove your identity. It's important. That was all.
Lognon, go to Pickwick's bar. I know Albert. He has a record. The bar is used by some of the Corsican fraternity. Get what you can out of him. I'll be along as soon as I can. I'll have a Pernod, Albert.
Yes, Monsieur Maigret, Pernod.
Where is he?
Oh, Lognon? Oh, we left 10 minutes ago.
Huh? Where did you send him?
I sent him nowhere. Pernod, Monsieur.
Thanks. Now, did you recognize the dead girl from the photo in the papers?
Oh, don't often bother with the papers.
When she came in here on the night of her death, was the place full?
Monday? Oh, very full.
At about 1 o'clock?
I didn't look at my watch.
What did she do?
She sat down on the stool at the end of the bar.
Did she order a drink?
Yeah, I think it was rum.
And she asked if you had a letter for her?
Yeah, that's right.
Where did you keep the letter?
There, between those bottles. Nobody asks for them.
And so you gave it to her?
No, I asked to see her identity card.
Ah, yes, those were your instructions.
They were.
From Jimmy?
From Jimmy.
Did you tell Inspector Lognon this?
Most of it, if he asked.
So you gave her the letter once she'd identified herself?
That's right.
Her identity card was in her handbag, was it?
Where else?
A small silver evening bag with a chain.
I don't remember.
Did she open and read the letter in the bar?
No, she went downstairs.
Where the toilets and the telephones are. And then she came back.
Yeah, to the bar.
And ordered another drink.
No, the American did for her.
The American? Not Jimmy?
Not Jimmy. A tall, young chap with a lot of red hair.
Did this tall, red-haired American have a name?
Frank. He used to follow Jimmy around.
But when Jimmy went back to the States, Frank stayed here.
Well, he was here that night.
And he picked Louise up. Did she seem to mind?
She let him buy her a couple of drinks, and they talked.
Did they leave together?
Yeah.
What time?
Oh, to guess, I'd say coming up to 2.
Have you seen this tall, red-haired American since that night?
Oh, he hasn't been in this bar.
Have you any idea where he is?
I told old Lognon. The American asked me about Brussels. He said he was going there. He wanted to know about an hotel. I told him I always stayed at the Palace by the Gare du Nord.
I see. Get your coat, Albert. Lock up the bar. You're coming with me to the Quai des Orfèvres.
Do you want Albert Falcone in now, Chief?
Yes, Janvier. Have you traced Lognon in Brussels?
Yes, Chief. He's at the Palace Hotel.
And he's not found the American?
No, not one that fits the description, Chief. I didn't tell him there wasn't one, but I think he guesses. I only said you'd made an arrest.
Oh, that went down like a lead balloon, I'm sure.
He didn't ask who, just said he'd get the night train back. I'll bring our friend Albert in.
Yes, it'll take me a long time to live this down in Lognon's eyes. It was his own daft fault believing stories about tall, red-haired Americans rushing off to Brussels to find them. But it'll be me who'll feel responsible. And guilty.
Here he is, Chief.
Come and sit down, Albert. No, you stay, Janvier, and shut the door.
Right, Chief.
Now, Albert, The truth?
How did you guess?
I didn't guess. I knew at once. I would have swallowed your story. It was a good one, if I hadn't known the girl.
You knew the girl? Knew Louise Laboine?
After her death, Albert, I got to know her. To know her well enough to be sure she would never have behaved in your bar as you said she did. No, Albert, Louise would not have sat at the bar as other girls do. She would never have considered going downstairs, fighting her way through the crowd to read the letter. She wouldn't even have thought to open it until she was outside. I nearly said home, but she didn't have a home to go to. And finally, she would never have allowed a man to pick her up, buy her drinks, take her off. Not even a tall, red-haired young American, Albert. No. She slipped into the bar, seeing nobody, ordered a drink and took it to a table. Drank it slowly without paying attention to anybody. Then she went back to the bar, ordered another drink, asked you, Albert, for the letter, showing her identity card. You gave it to her, and you probably said, "Don't open it here," although you had no need to. She took the letter and the drink back to the table. I think she felt something was wrong. She would. She felt threatened, and she had to have one or two more drinks before she could find the courage to leave. So she was a little drunk, and her senses were not so prickly when she left, probably to find a cheap hotel for the night. You know the rest.
You must have been there.
I have been since her death. What did the letter say, Albert?
It was from her father. He asked her to forgive him for his neglect of her, and he said he'd be dead by the time she received this letter. He went on to tell her to get a passport, go to the United States, to an address in New York where there was a great deal of money awaiting her in banknotes. But as nobody knew her, she must turn up with the letter and her passport.
You had the letter? All you needed was her identity card to get a passport in her name.
We didn't mean to kill her.
No. I'm sure you didn't. Who were the others?
Bianchi, the Corsican, and Tattoo Jack.
Oh.
Well, they were outside in a car. They let her get on a bit, drove past her, stopped, and waited for her to come up to them. Bianchi got out of the car and made a grab at her handbag, but the chain on it was around her wrist, so he tried to pull it free. She struggled, fell on her knees. Well, she looked as if she'd scream, so Bianchi slapped her face. All she did was cling on to him and start moaning for help, so the fool lost his nerve and coshed her. But too hard. He didn't mean to kill her, but he's a big chap.
I know he is. So they bundled her into the car, got the handbag, and dumped her out at the Place Vintimille. Why there?
That's what I asked. They said, dressed like she was, she fitted the Montmartre district. Fitted in with the girls.
Yes. I suppose she did. Poor kid, she was always a loser. If that evening bag had not had a chain... All right, take him away, Janvier.
Yes, Chief.
Oh, Albert, I nearly forgot. I owe you for a pair now.
Have it on the house.
No, I'd rather not. Here, keep the change.
Oh, thank you, monsieur.
The end of a sad case, Georges.
Yes, indeed. I take it you tied it up at the American end?
The FBI did, but only just in time. When the girl used to impersonate Louise turned up to collect, the FBI were waiting. It was a lot of money. Louise could have bought herself a new life.
With a new dress?
Yes, a new dress. Even crime didn't pay for Louise.
I take it Lognon arrived back from Brussels in one piece.
I didn't wait around to see.
What you mean is you were coward enough to keep out of the way.
Well, I did have some leave owing, but Lognon's report was a joy.
In what particular way?
He never for a moment admitted he was sent on a fool's errand. Perhaps he still believes in the tall, red-haired American.
Have you never asked him?
Oh, you must be joking.
You were quite right, of course. To discover how poor Louise died, you had to know how she lived. And if Lognon had understood that, he'd never have rushed off to Brussels.
She's haunted me for a long time, as that girl. I walked past Romeo's the other day, and her ghost was there. In that sad blue dress and badly fitting cape. Like a sulky child, out past her bedtime.